This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Being your best self feels good. Visit betterhelp.com/allies and get back to being you. Hello and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'll be your moderator, Brandon Jones. Joining me this week, panelists Michael Huber.
Hello.
Ben Moore.
Cow.
My returning co-moderator, Daniel Bloodworth.
Yo.
Hi.
Hi.
Made it all happen in the control room, Isla Hink.
Hey.
Thank you
Very tired.
for making it happen. You are tired or Isla's tired? Are we all tired?
We're probably all tired.
We're all tired.
We're all tired.
I'm
I'm doing pretty good.
I've had
You're
a pretty
nice.
long string of late night followed by early morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, was I to blame for any of those late nights? Could I have gone to bed earlier? I'm not sure. It's hard to tell.
I went disco
Sometimes I
roller
blame the
skating
work.
last night.
Sometimes I blame myself.
Did you say you're not in a Blade?
Oh, you did that too? That's
I'm gonna-
crazy.
I
I
blame.
went, yeah,
I don't know.
Lame.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about Blade.
We'll get to Blade. We get to talk about Blade during this
I'm
podcast.
so hyped to talk
Distinguished
about
guests, we are
Phase
here
4.
to talk about some of the biggest headlines in video games this week. But before we do that, we must answer for all the mistakes we made in last week's podcast. Bloodworth, begin corrections music, please. Whoop. Yeah. The new Quake comes with 4
I
expansions.
don't know. Well,
Scourge of Armagon and Dissolution of Eternity, the 2 original mission packs. Dimension of the Past, Isla, was released by Machine Games in 2016 for the 20th anniversary. Dimension of the Machine is the brand new expansion that they're bringing to it now, but there's 4. And one was in
Damiani and
2016.
Huber and I played Dimension of the Machine, and it was sick. And then the game crashed when we were like 80% of the way through.
It wasn't me.
Don and Damiani and I played it, and we hadn't saved, so we lost all our progress.
Oh.
What are you eating?
Oh,
What do you-
granola bar. You made me do. I haven't
Alright.
had lunch.
That's fine. I mean,
me neither.
Everybody's
I'm starving,
tired.
Isla.
Nobody's
I'm
eating.
starving.
Yeah, we're all hungry.
Yeah. So hungry.
Back to work.
Stream into a shoot into this, and
Oh,
2
yeah,
more shoots,
Isla?
blood and forms
So
me.
hungry.
Well, the text zoom in the Pokemon trailer isn't new. They did that for Sun and Moon when they like zoomed in on random keywords and text in the trailer. That's their thing now. It's what they do. Regarding the abandoned trailer app, and I actually didn't know this, the idea is to reveal trailers running in-engine in real time. So there's edits in the trailer, but you're not watching a recorded video. You are watching that game running. So it's not just a CGI trailer. That boot was in-engine.
Yeah.
That boot that
it
you
was
saw.
a good-looking boot.
Good-looking
I
boot.
love the boot. It's a
Good-looking
great looking boot. Yeah.
Why not just put out a video of it?
It doesn't seem, it's not as impressive, I think, as their, yeah. The underground base in Pokemon Brilliant, Diamond, and Shining Pearl was in the original, just some new functionality within there. Apparently the mining mini game was in there as well. They've updated it, of course. Control didn't sell 10 million units, it passed 10 million players. It sold just over 2 million units. That extra 8 mil came from PS Plus, PS Now, Game Pass. The time it was on the Epic Game Store, and it was also in a humble monthly bundle.
Whoa.
What are you, Jesse Faden?
Isn't that crazy? I want to be. I wish. I hope I get to be Jesse Faden again. I'm looking forward to that
There's
sequel, but
There's some math there then.
And all that extra
with,
stuff.
like Game Pass and stuff. Just like 8 million copies. How much? Like, oh,
I
just
really
wanna
like
know.
that phrase. There's some math there.
There's some math there. There's some. Yeah, we can learn a lot from this situation.
I don't know, but there's some math there.
and corrections music, please. Thank you. Let's play Starring Role. This is a new opening bit for the Easy Allies podcast created by Daniel Bloodworth, who's spent enough time now in Los Angeles, around Hollywood, to be inspired by this wonderful film industry that we love so much, that we don't get to talk about enough here on the Easy Allies podcast, because we're always talking about games. Well, we have been asked by the film industry, because they are in dire straits. Every week, there will be at least one actor backing out of a film, and we have to replace that actor with a video game character. We'll have 3 options
like this is
provided to
accurate.
us
Yeah.
by $5 and up patrons at the Love and Respect tier. Our first submission for Starring Role comes from Cody Spencer. The film, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. The character, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, has walked off the set. They were forced to do their own stunts, not having it. We get to replace E.T. with Ori, the Grunt, a Grunt from Halo. I guess you can pick any Grunt, and their armor changes. Or Nemesis.
I mean, Ori.
Ori.
Yeah.
Ori.
I feel like
grunt.
Ori
or Nemesis?
fits the
The theme.
style of E.T. the best.
Yeah.
Or he fits the innocence. I
Yeah.
really want to
Yeah.
see the grunt though. I want.
I mean,
I
he
feel like
scared the
Grunt
hell out of
interacting
me.
with the
so
kids would be so funny.
I feel like in
E.T.
the
being
movie, the
scary
grunt
is
would
on brand.
accidentally like kill itself somehow.
Yeah.
Like it would be involved in some horrible accident.
Yeah.
It jokes on Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, there you go.
It's too bad they said grunt because the brute Craig sort of looked like ET. He had the
He does,
ET
yeah.
kind of bone structure.
Yeah.
you look into his eyes and you can see the.
Yeah.
Nice.
You really feel for him. I'm happy. I thought you were gonna jump at Nemesis right away. But we still got to make money on this movie. You know what I mean? We can't make a comedy. Like you need to feel.
Like Nemesis would just wander off. You couldn't
Right.
shoot any scenes with him. I
mean, I don't want to. As much as I love Nemesis and the violence that ensues, I don't want to watch Nemesis kill little children.
No,
I
no.
don't want that.
no.
Well, what does a Nemesis do if it doesn't have a target? You know, what does
Yeah.
it just roam around and
True.
go shopping, or what is it? Yeah, I wonder.
I do think that the grunt could still barely fit in the basket on the front of the bike though.
That's a good image.
Or make people fly. That's another thing grunts aren't known for doing. Can use those special effects. This week was Gamescom.
So wait, we have to
Wait,
cast one.
we
So
do-
is it Ori for sure?
I think it's Ori. That sounded like
Definitively Ori. Okay.
That sounded like that. That's why I said I'm happy
I
that
gotta
you
make a
didn't
list.
pick.
I gotta make sure I have a list of these.
Okay, good.
We're gonna go back.
We're good. Oh,
We're-
okay.
Yeah.
We're going
Whenever this
somewhere.
thing is worn out, we're gonna go back. And yeah, I'm glad you picked an older movie because I think there's a few people that weren't sure whether like these are movies that aren't out
Right,
yet.
yes.
So, like any movie.
And some
Any
really,
role.
really good submissions on Patreon. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, patrons.
Nice.
Another reason to be at that $5 tier for not only submitting stuff, but reading a lot of these other wonderful ones. Please resubmit if you want to give it a second shot. Some good stuff. Gamescom.
It's Gamescom.
Is now? Gamescom is still happening.
When we're recording, yes.
It's still Gamescom. How is it? How do we know that? Because there's dates that
Because
they've
their
said.
live
There's no-
stream is continuing to go.
There it is.
It will be in English tomorrow.
Nice. A lot of stuff has come out from Gamescom, but I've been mostly following the events. You were saying there was some like triangulation from gameplay clips or something that happened. What is it?
Starfield?
Yes.
Starfield. Huber knows the Starfield.
Starfield. There were three on YouTube not
Unlisted.
unlisted. That was the word. Thank
Nice.
People unearth the unlisted, yeah.
There were three unlisted videos of like concept art and stuff. It was like they were like 50 seconds each. Just kind of
50
showing
or 15?
50 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Like a little less than that. Just kind of going into a little bit of the lore for three different locations. I didn't go into the lore. I just saw like three of the concept art pictures, and they actually looked really cool. One of them, like New Atlanta or something, was like Geonosis vibes from Attack of the Clones. Like this big bubbled city on the water. It looked really cool. Then they had another one that's kind of like cyberpunky. And then they had one that was kind of like
New Atlantis.
New Atlantis. Nice.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, and then the last one seemed fine. It was kind of like rage vibes, just kind of like some brick buildings and stuff.
You know what else had Rage vibes? The Forza Horizon
Yeah,
5
Forza
controller.
yeah.
Is this new? What is? I've missed this.
This
it
was
new?
at the Xbox
Showcase.
showcase.
They,
yes.
Before
I've seen
they
the
got
highlights,
to
but I
Forza
missed.
Horizon 5, they showed off this controller. It's just
Yeah.
like a bunch of that, like the colored powder, and that kind of yellow transparent. And
The splash of pink, yeah.
Yeah.
It will
The
be
splash of
known as the Rage controller
Forever.
We kicked it off Gamescom with opening night live. It was opening morning live for us, hosted by Jeff Keighley, pre-showed by Kyle Bossman. And before we get into some of the highlights from that, some of the bigger announcements and stuff, and there were some doozies. For those of us that checked it out, how do we feel about the event itself? It's interesting because Keighley does Game Awards, he does Summer Game Fest now, he does opening night live. And I wonder if these are distinct from each other in any way in terms of like how they handle announcements or what our expectations are for them.
Well, you definitely got the. You definitely saw the Gamescom team involvement in this with him cutting away to one of their hosts, which I think is. At first, I was like appreciative because like, okay, now we're going to see what like they're actually going to be doing after opening night live, and have an idea what's going on. And then they started doing these interstitials with the awards, and it's just what do we award? Did you guys get demos? And it was really strange because like you would have batches of awards where like all of the nominees were from the same company, and it was just very, very strange. Like the only Switch games were Mario and Rabbids and Just Dance. And there's like, huh?
Yeah, these
Like, I don't understand how this is even a category.
might be an NPD thing, but maybe for awards, those aren't really the Switch games that we've been thinking about for the last year or so.
It's historically a trade show that makes sense to have some form of awards, right? Like we would always participate in the E3 awards when Keeley was in charge of that.
Right.
But we got to go in and play those things, and there were stringent standards based on things that happened in the past, whereas this, it just seemed like, do you have games in development? Tell us the names of those games, and we will give one of those names an award.
That is what it felt like for sure.
Yeah, and also strange because we don't know like when Gamescom is opening or closing. Like you said, they were doing a live stream, which is kind of the idea of like what is
Right.
how do we if a company releases something and says it's a Gamescom
They
trailer,
did
then we know
last
it's a
night.
Gamescom
They
trailer.
did like an hour-long thing, which the best I could understand was like almost like the politics and logistics of Gamescom or something like that. It was funny because they had it on Twitch tagged as politics, but it was all in German, so I couldn't really entirely make out what was going on, except they were specifically speaking with people from the convention center and back and forth. There's just like a lot of talking head stuff. But it was funny because they streamed that for like half an hour to an hour, and then they went back offline for like another 4 or 5 hours before
Right.
they like started the day's streams. So just a very interesting thing to lead with on their own after Jeff's show.
It's hard to know who was going to Jeff's show who's been premiering this stuff that would have premiered the same things at a Gamescom that was in person. Are these games that maybe would have been playable at the show?
Right.
Or yeah, hard to tell what Gamescom would have looked like in any other normal Gamescom year. But not many of these shows are getting back to normal operating procedure, Gamescom included. But there were some pretty big reveals from Keeley's show, and I want to go through some of the bigger ones, some which people might be surprised by, but we were completely enchanted by. But we'll get to DokeV. I want to start out
DokeV.
with Saints Row, brand new Saints Row game called Saints Row.
So excited.
Smile on his face. What'd you think?
So
Hubert?
excited. I loved Saints Row. I feel like I'm in the minority here. I loved Saints Row 1 and 2, and then when it went to 3 and 4 and like superpowers and all that,
Yeah.
I checked out. I just wasn't into that vibe of those games. So I like that this one kind of feels like it's going back to a little more grounded, still maintaining the over-the-top vibes. You know, guy with a mask on his head and flipping all over the place. So it's still
Driving on rooftops.
yeah, so it's still kind of out of control, but it still feels grounded in reality. I just kept thinking of the Spider-Man Homecoming scene where Shocker does that deal under the bridge and like Spider-Man like chases him. That is the vibe I got from Saints Row, and I'm here for it. This like high-tech gangster's paradise.
What a specific vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, I loved it.
Can they afford to lose the fans of superhero powers, Ben? Do you think that was like a high, so to speak, for the franchise that like maybe some people are hoping they get back to?
Well, in my opinion, like Saints Row 4 was worse than Saints Row 3, and I think the superpowers kind of took away a lot of, like it went too far. Like when your whole point is going too far, and like you're playing it and you're like, no, this is too much. There's something wrong there, and I think like Saints Row 4 and then like Gat Out of Hell, like it got to a point where it was just super easy to tune out Saints Row.
Yeah.
And I really liked 3 a lot and had a very good time with it and thought it was legitimately funny. And 4 had like high points as well, but it was just diminishing returns. And so I kind of agree with Huber where I appreciate that they're doing something different, but I think just the whole presentation, like it's different from Saints Row, but now it kind of feels like a little bit more of a generic action game. Like it doesn't quite have that same signature identity, and maybe that will become more obvious to me once they reveal more gameplay and stuff like that. I definitely think there is potential there, but I watched it and I was like, oh, okay. Like I wasn't blown away.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came out with some info afterwards just about like buying properties and running like illegal businesses out of those properties. I always think it's weird when they like have all that information just on the side, you know? It's like, should they
Well,
have,
I didn't get that
should they have
vibe,
revealed
yeah.
that information during
Oh, I mean,
this?
even in the presentation, the actor that came out to speak said, they're self-starting this criminal empire.
Right.
And I was like, well, in the trailer, you just like steal a car and like, flip off this other gang. Like, I didn't get the vibe that that's how you're going to start this business. It seems like you're just goofing off. So like, did you get that vibe? Was there any sort of like direction that you could tell from the new Saints Row?
I think in terms of the direction, I think it's kind of more like what Huber was saying, that, yeah, you're just kind of back to kind of more gang war type things, and just kind of stuff between different factions. And like, yeah, there's some big weapons and stuff like that, but you're not doing superpowers. You're not like dealing with a whole bunch of crazy. Here, like, I played Agents of Mayhem, which was like they sort of took
Oh yeah.
all that stuff to this other extreme, was this like kind of hero characters and that kind of thing. And this felt a little bit more, back into this turf war thing and doing it in the Southwest. But I've never really been a Saints Row player or a fan, so to me it's like, oh, okay, cool. They're going back to that, but it's not been. I don't have a lot to lose, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, sure.
We're talking about vibes.
It's a great place to be.
Vibes from movies. Vibes from Marvel movies. I get the, in the... Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's not Marvel movies. RoboCop. When they have the gun on the street. When he's like, look what I got. He's showing off the gun and like blowing up cars.
Yes,
He brings in like the new car and he blows his car up. But I did get that kind of vibe of like the tech from these bigger companies just kind of spilling out into the street.
Absolutely.
Again, it's like an interesting thread of an idea. I just didn't see that necessarily conveyed in the trailer. But and I guess it's not a bad thing, because I was wondering like, well, because we knew Saints Row was going to be in this. Keeley said it many times, and I was like, wow, I wonder what twist they're going to bring to Saints Row. And it didn't seem twisty. It just seemed kind of them like, no, we're going to bring back to what made the series. We identified it right away. We're like 3 shots in. We're like, oh.
The purple. Somebody
Purple
called it. I think it was Isla. They called the purple.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's Saints Row.
I have openly said I believe on this podcast that I want Marvel characters in a tactical role-playing game. I think I've said, it might have been a Q&A or something. It was specifically the X-Men. I always really wanted this because there's always a lot of really great co-op abilities between those characters. It'd be really fun tactically to make those decisions. And during the announcement trailer for Marvel Midnight Suns, I had no idea what the hell I was looking at. And we didn't really know until the end when they got into details when we saw the Firaxis logo. Yes, and yes, all of this for so many reasons. Crazy redesign on characters,
I think this might be
customizable
my game of the
protagonists.
show. Yeah.
I am so down for this game, Ben.
Yeah, even though it's probably like the thing I'm walking away from Gamescom being the most excited about, it was also, and I know a lot more info is coming very soon.
Gameplay on September 1st.
Yeah, it was frustrating that it was like you just wanted a little bit more, because it does seem like such a great idea, and I'm sure it'll be blown out. But in the moment, I was just hungry for just a little bit more detail. Like even with Saints Row, like we saw a very, very brief amount of gameplay, but they did include some snippets. Like even something like that, I think would have really helped.
Yeah.
Well, I think it made total sense because someone in, I agree completely. Someone in chat earlier today was like, "What is it though?" And it's like, oh yeah, if you don't know XCOM or Firaxis, that trailer doesn't tell you at all what this game is.
Apparently, it's not going to be anything like XCOM.
Yeah, I
Really?
don't think so. I mean, it might be in some ways. The thing that from their description, it feels more like, and I ended up not playing the full final game all that much, but you remember Mutant Year Zero?
Yeah.
And it's like, it has some of those XCOM elements in arenas and combat, but it also has the RPG elements of where you're going out and exploring a world, and you're finding, you're happening upon battle arenas, or you're happening upon enemies, and there are stealth elements and stuff like that too, as well as a kind of a home base and a much more of that kind of exploration focus. So I feel like it may be more similar to that, because you're not just like, okay, create units and then go to a location. It's like, I think there's going to be a lot more in between of that.
Sweet.
When I did a preview of XCOM 2, I got to sit down and talk with Jake Solomon, and it's really an interview that like sticks out in my mind, because just like immediately it's like, okay, this guy A is incredibly passionate about games. Like, he's just like a little bubbly kid when he talks about games, and he's extremely smart, and it's super obvious that he wants to make something really good and really special. And that's obvious in the rebirth of XCOM. And so like them getting to do this new idea with such a big property, it's like I really have a ton of faith that they're going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that's really important here too is that we're not in anything adjacent to MCU. Like it is such a like different line of story that's going on that, and they're talking about like co-creating their own character and stuff.
I love that.
With Marvel's help, and so I think it's just
The Hunter.
It was a little weird to see Lilith, who does look
so much
like Lilith from Diablo 4.
Yeah,
that was definitely like.
And I
wait,
didn't
what?
know that Marvel character, and I was like, huh, kind of looks like Lilith. And then she's like, we're bringing Lilith from. I'm like, oh, I didn't know Lilith was in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just really hyped for Robbie Reyes to get some spotlight, to get some love.
Do you know that for a fact? That's
People were
Potentially
saying
him.
it was confirmed. I'm hoping they
As
were
Ghost
not lying
Rider.
to me.
well, that's the other thing is people are like, wow, Ghost Rider looks weird, and like, whoa,
Dude, Robbie
Logan's got some like
Reyes.
gold plating on his outfit, and it's like, please get strange. Like
Yeah.
that's the lesson Avengers learned way too late with a lot of their outfits. Is like now they're starting to have a lot of strange over the top stuff that I think sadly people are missing.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
they
on
weren't there at
Guardians
launch.
of the Galaxy, it's the same problem. Like everyone is just comparing it, to because like the thing that is in most people's minds is the films.
Yeah.
They don't have any other reference point. So if
Guardians
this,
Volume 3 is on the way. You
Yeah.
know, so it's not. Yeah, we're not through all that stuff. But we will see. We'll probably have more to say after we get gameplay. But that just seems like so many great ideas all brought together. It was hard to think about other things after that got announced. It was hard to take our eyes off of DokeV.
DokeV.
Man,
Oh my god, this trailer blew me away. It had
Yeah, I've got-
such a good
Because
energy.
there's no like developer pedigree that's
Yeah.
swaying us here.
Well,
There's no
you
like
don't-
company in charge.
I couldn't look
so
away.
you know who the developer is for this, right?
yeah.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. It's Pearl Abyss who does Black Desert Online, which
Okay.
is very going. It's
Character
like
creation.
it's like history really does repeat itself because like if you remember like pre-release, the hype
Black
around
Desert.
Black Desert was
Yes.
incredible because everybody was like, "This looks so good! I can't believe it!" And it really was. It was amazing, and everybody freaked out over the character creator. And then you play it, and it's like, "Oh right!" Like there are all these like super grindy, like microtransaction heavy things in this. That like there's still a cool thing here, but it's kind of going through this filter. And I'm not saying it's going to be exactly the same, but it kind of living through that and then going into this, it kind of feels like we're having the same response to it.
Do you have any heavy commercial vibes from this game, DokeV?
Commercial? What do you mean?
You're just like a kid literally running through markets trying on new clothes.
Oh yeah.
Like jumping around a mall. Like, it's just,
I did see that
it's
it.
going to be even more.
I did see it was originally going to be an MMO, and they pivoted to open world action adventure. So hopefully that'll reduce some of the grindy microtransactions.
I mean, I agree
stuff,
with
yeah.
you. Like, it's super visually striking. It has a great attitude. It looks super fun. It's just like the Pearl Abyss name on it just has a little
Red
skepticism.
flag, little red
Yeah,
flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's one of these things where it doesn't feel like they've paid attention to any artificial boundaries. It's like, oh, you want to do that? Cool, throw it in there. It's just like any ridiculous thing. The character designs, the creature designs, it's like semi-realistic, but then ultra cartoony at the same moment. It's
Well, the environments are very realistic.
Yeah.
And the
that's
people
what
are
really
very
got me.
anime and cartoony. It's just like, it does it. When you look at one or the other and go back and forth, it's a bit jarring.
Like I just wanted to jump in and explore.
Yeah.
It just gave me so much energy, that
Yeah.
trailer. I don't know what it was.
and it's like, oh, the frame rate's really bad here. Who cares? Just throw it
Oh,
in there.
just kept
yeah.
It just kept going. I thought the trailer was going to be over.
It
and
was
they just
so
were like,
long.
no, more characters. Here's this random snow level for 5 seconds. Moving on. Like, what? But just, again, it's just there was nothing preloaded in that made us excited about it. It was literally just the complete insanity of the gameplay that we were watching.
Bonkers.
DokeV, literally DOKE capital V if you want to look that one up. So these are all the reveals. Cult of the Lamb revealed.
Cult of the
We
Lamb.
know about this.
hype.
Devolver's publishing this massive monster
I
developing.
mean,
So hyped.
It looks really awesome, and I'm very intrigued by it. And it's also like just the most Devolver game possible. Like it totally fits their brand perfectly. Yeah, definitely.
How much blood will be in this?
Yeah.
Add more.
I love the idea. Obviously, Hades on everyone's mind, and I'm thinking of like Children of Morta, just like going on a run and then going back to a base and like upgrading that base, getting some story development. That's
Got
like
all
my
your followers just, bowing to you.
Yeah, I love that. Love that.
Raise a cult, fight other cults. 2022 on Steam, no specific release date. But that was very fun. Yeah, kind of as like Binding of Isaac, which is a franchise I'm not familiar with gameplay at all, but just visually kind of like reminds me of that.
Jones, I think you could get really into Binding of Isaac. Yeah.
Okay.
Give it a spin.
Park Beyond.
Yes.
This looks fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Monday Night Stream,
because
Zyla?
I'm like down
Yeah,
with the
maybe.
vibes, but like I couldn't tell what they were selling.
I was also
Yeah.
ordering an Xbox while this trailer
Right.
was happening, so I
But
kind
they
of
have
missed
they
part.
like in the trailer they're like we're gonna make new things happen through impossification, and I was like, oh cool, is that like a feature or what?
I
and
feel
then
like correct me if I'm wrong, and I feel like you, Jones, and Isla would know better than I, but I feel like over the last, I don't know, 6-7 years, there's like a game that'll come around and people are like, maybe this will recapture the magic of Roller Coaster Tycoon,
yeah.
and then like that
Yeah.
can just like keeps getting kicked.
Yeah.
well, there's just not
It seems like it's threading the needle though, just from the gut. The first trailer, it seems like it's somewhere in between Planet Coaster and Roller Coaster Tycoon. So I feel like there's a lot of customization and building and all that crazy stuff.
It seems like it,
But-
but I
But also
try
it
to
seems
get
like
into the
maybe
fine
there's a
print.
story mode,
And it wasn't, They were just like, you can really get creative. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because the problem with theme park creators is like, yeah, I can make this roller coaster do whatever I want, make it whatever color I want. But then I got to make like, I'll make a food thing. And it's like fries or burgers. And it's like, well, it'd be nice to, like have some customization there too. Kind of seemed like something they were going for, but they haven't said specifically how any of that works. So
Man, maybe I was just with messed up friends, but like my middle school memories, and it's exactly the same thing for The Sims. My like middle school memory, what kids were excited about in my school about Roller Coaster Tycoon is they're like, check out this coaster I made. When people get on it, it just kills all of them.
yeah, exactly.
And it's just like that sort of chaos and like, black humor was something that you would like show your friends and kind of giggle about. That would be fun.
My brother and I always used to make umbrellas like $90 on days that it rained.
Right. Yeah.
Just messing with everyone.
Yeah.
What if it has a morality system? Or you could create like an evil theme park, you're really mean to people and doing
That's an
terrible things.
idea right there. Like just
But you have
just-
thrill seekers that come specifically for that content.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
just like an evil theme park creator is a great idea. Yeah.
That always pissed me off. It's kind of like reminds me of like durability in a way. Just the mechanic in Roller Coaster Tycoon of like the ride is too scary for a lot of people.
or fast, or
so it'd make just
turns are too fast.
Yeah,
or
so like people wouldn't go on, and it's like I get it. That's the mechanic. Like it's cool, but
But then there was always that.
Shit.
There was always that one guy that like had maximum thrill tolerance and
Yeah.
would go on your like 30G ride,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you'd die.
Sandbox mode in that though. I found from my research.
Nice.
So at least you can run around and build stuff, but
Yeah,
not
I'm
worrying
just
about
curious.
sales.
I'm curious, like what they can do that will make it more extreme, right? Because it just feels like if
Well, I liked the energy of the Willy Wonka
Yeah.
vibe of just like, hey, let's impossification like
Right.
that. Willy Wonka guy, impossification. All right, I get it. I get what we're going for here, kind of.
I don't get it at all.
Yeah,
But we'll see.
yeah. Just the energy of it. I don't know.
The Gamescom did make me purchase Jurassic World Evolution
Nice.
in excitement for the second one because I'm like, man, I really want to try this idea out.
It's a cute game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't booted it up yet, but it's installed.
Keely should get a cut of that.
Give you-
What?
Yeah, of Ben's purchase because he saw
Of the first game purchase from what?
Dude, if we're gonna be giving cuts for my game purchases, I'm gonna make someone rich real quick.
No, I'm just saying if you're watching opening night live and you
Right.
buy a game,
Right.
Listen, Keely got in the Muppets. He's doing fine.
Right. They announce around the Game Awards they do announce those like special promotions. You get sales on Steam and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
It'd
yeah,
be great
yeah.
for he's just like, oh, and I get little 5 cents from
Yeah,
every
kickback.
Man, that's actually something about
right
Steam
physically in my pocket while I'm on stage.
that, like, I really truly do love Steam for a number of reasons, but sometimes I go on Steam and it's like, okay, it feels like there are 1,000 sales happening. Like you just boot up that
Right.
homepage and it's like, there's almost like, what is going on?
They make
Every
some
day.
game affordable finally. You're like, damn
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That was the reason I wasn't playing it. Soundfall was revealed. Didn't see a lot of it. A possible Curse of the
Yeah.
Necrodancer vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like lots of beats going on, lots of gameplay following the beats. Steam, Epic Games Store, consoles. Dream Cycle was revealed. Didn't get to see a lot of it. Do you recall Dream Cycle? Does anyone recall Dream Cycle?
I remember the name.
Yeah.
Dream Cycle.
Do you remember the name Toby Gard? Is that a name?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
remember?
yeah, yeah.
It's the guy who created Lara Croft.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's tricky because I said that and then all right. So will we remember Dream Cycle whenever we get to see a big meaty trailer of that?
Her outfit looked cool in this.
And Tales of Luminaria is a mobile action RPG. Put that one on your list, man. It's more mobile. It's a mobile RPG.
He does
I
not
know.
look excited this time.
I go to you.
No.
You told me the other day you're
No.
like I have a dock on my phone. I literally need 20 to 30 mobile RPGs.
I did
This
not
is my
say
new
that.
favorite
I
genre.
did not say that.
I heard you say that.
You've going on and on and on about mobile
No.
action RPGs.
No.
No.
I mean, would I even give Near Reincarnation a sniff if it wasn't near? No.
No.
No. I have standards.
That's good stuff. That was all the reveals from that show. We also got some more announcements. Jump out at me if anything is specifically. Well, we'll start with Death Stranding because that was the one that they were playing up a lot,
Yeah.
and that was all right.
Yeah, I think
Was that like an exciting series of announcements?
It's not really to me because I feel like a lot of the stuff they showed off, we saw the first time around. Like the
Sure.
races and the cannon. It's like, okay, this is kind
the
of
Metal Gear bases.
This is like it's like the director's cut of the director's cut reveal.
Yeah.
It's,
Extended directors.
yeah.
I think
Creator's
the
cut.
thing that is hard for me is the new stuff seems cool, and I'm curious where the new missions go. But I think about Death Stranding, I'm like, that is a really long game. Like, it's kind of a massive game, and at least the core story, I already know what happens, and so it's like I just don't know. And maybe you'll be able to get to a lot of that new stuff quickly. I don't know what the.
I wonder if
rollout is
it'll
gonna
just
be
be
like.
on the map and
Yeah.
you can go there.
Depending on how that stuff is rolled out, I'm cool with that. But I just don't know if I have the motivation to go through the entire game again.
I am 100% with you. And even if it is loaded up and it's all right there, the idea of going back into Death Stranding, it kind of exhausts me. Like, getting through that game it just feels like it's a lot. It's a heavy game.
It is.
You work at it, it's
And it's funny
just so
because
much. It's so much.
some of the new additions feel like they're lightening the load, making things
Yeah.
easier to do, which is interesting. And I think a lot of the additions that they were showing off where it's like, okay, like that is a good addition. Like that'll definitely improve that game. But even if you simplify things, like there's so much heaviness in Death Stranding that like you're right. I'm with you 100%.
It's like I gotta work up to it.
Even just like going through the opening takes like a long time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sure with the bases and stuff, there's got to be some like new subplot about all that. So
yeah.
I would imagine, I would assume.
And I think one of the things too, like you're talking about hopping back in, like even if you just use your existing save, but that's the thing is it's kind of it's almost like a management game. Well, it is a management game in a lot of ways because it's like when you're playing that game, it's like yes, you're going through the story, but you're also like, okay, I'm going to be taking this and I'm building this thing over here and I'm working on this side quest for these characters over there. And so once you're sort of out of that web, essentially, that the game sets up for you, it's sort of hard to figure out, like, okay, well, now where do I fit back into this?
Yeah.
Especially since
Great
all the
point.
infrastructure that you built decays over time, and so like all your hard work is gone.
It's so funny, and this is obviously a very personal thing, but I feel like when a re-release hits you, it's all about timing, right? Because you recently got obsessed with the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. But I think it was because there was such a long period of time between when you had initially played those games and when you played.
So long.
And like if this Death Stranding Director's Cut was like rolling out in like 2023,
Sure.
I think I would feel
Yeah.
a little bit more energized because
Yep.
there would be more time separating it between that initial playthrough where it's like, oh man, I really forgot a lot.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm sure for a bunch of people, they're extremely excited, or if you've never played it, they're extremely excited. But just personally, it's like too close.
Finding the motivation is tough.
Yeah, that's what this feels like to me. It feels like the PS5 upgrade plus some additional features. But like to me, it feels like a PS5 upgrade with some additional features. But like for new people, I imagine it might be the carrot, that gets them to finally play it. Or if they didn't have a PS4 and they do have a PS5 or something. But
Looks good.
Feels like I agree with Huber. Seems like a tough ask to go back into it.
It's tough.
But that's what's strange, though, Isla, because you say that, but I feel like a lot of these new things, like the cannons and all of that, that can't mean anything to somebody that hasn't played the game.
Right. It would ruin the game.
Yeah. Or it's something that you're using so much resources to build that you're not going to have a lot of those
Well,
things.
I think that the jump jetpack. Oops, that's your camera. The jetpack looks like your landing is pretty hard, so I think you would get that after you have the exoskeleton legs or whatever.
Right.
So it's all this stuff is probably late game for sure.
All the new weapons looked really cool. Shout out to that. The target range they went in.
Yeah, the virtual
And it
missions
had
or
the
whatever.
electric gun, and I was like, combat just looks overall improved.
Shout out to doing tricks in the air.
Yes.
And taking photos of it.
Yeah.
Such a good moment.
This makes sense to me because it's coming to PlayStation 5. Obviously, you're going to do something for it. Obviously, Kojima's going to add more stuff to his games. He loves doing that. Is this like subsistence? Are we done with Death Stranding after this, or do you think he's going to beat this drum for a while?
Great question.
Because we don't know if we're getting Death Stranding 2 or if he's going to make a totally different franchise moving forward.
He invented a subgenre for this.
Asking
I
what
think that
Kojima is going to
Stranding
do
will be-
next is a difficult question.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Good podcast fodder, though. I mean, just
think
in
that-
case anyone's inspired this week.
I think Kojima Productions will be making Stranding games, though. I think anything they make in the future will have that mechanic to some extent.
I don't know.
He's going to make a new genre every time.
Probably.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, he
genre?
recently talked about how much was it? Yeah, I think it was during the Game Awards where he was talking about how much current events were influencing him and how that was going to really fuel his next project. And so I can imagine 2020 being a very it's obviously an impactful year for everybody, but with Kojima and the way that he likes to kind of offer commentary, I can imagine that he's every neuron in his brain is firing on all cylinders.
I hope it's a horror game.
Same.
Does
that would be fun.
Horrifying.
Does
a horror
anyone-
game with Strand elements.
That'd be cool. Does anyone think that this DLC will have a hidden plot element or some kind of earth-shattering revelation that has not been revealed, that will be revealed, when it finally comes out and people go play through it? Do we think will be any
I have
Kojima
a
shenanigans in
guess.
this?
There's an abandoned trailer right when you booted it up.
Yeah.
Well,
Or do you think this is just what we're going to get?
I was just gonna say those bases, they have that weird moss all over them, and they seem to be hoarding bodies. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking they might be making a body-based weapon of mass destruction to try to
The cut
Genius,
content.
genius, Isla, genius.
The cut content from Phantom Pain will be in the director's cut. Huber, I was actually rolling that around in my head quite a bit, and I landed completely in the middle, where it was like Schrodinger's director's cut, where it's it was I could see this
Schrodinger's cut.
Yeah, going either way in equal force. Yeah.
That's good.
Simultaneously.
Awesome.
I think mostly excitement around April O'Neil coming to Shredder's Revenge, playable,
The mic
Yeah.
drop.
Yeah.
The mic
Yeah,
drop.
the mic drop was
so good.
and something else. I saw there's some other
game
game
was just wonderful.
that she was just added
She's in the
to.
Nickelodeon All-Stars.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
with
Cat Dog.
Cat Dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Casey Jones and Splinter
For
next
sure.
character reveals.
And then we're done with that 7.
Ooh, I think more. I think
they can do more.
Who's the cool rabbit?
Sorry,
Yeah, how do you
Jimbo.
not
Yeah.
have Casey Jones in that game?
You gotta have Casey Jones.
Or
You're gonna
Splinter.
have
I think Splinter.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
I think Splinter would be key for that style.
I could almost see Splinter being an unlockable character.
Yeah, because you probably rescue him in the game.
Sure.
What about
unlock
Bebop and Rocksteady turned good?
That would be so sick.
That'd be awesome.
Uneasy Alliance.
What if you fight him? You fight him as fourth
Yeah.
boss, and then they join up.
They're finally like, all right, you turtles,
You turtles.
we'll join you.
What about Shredder?
Shredder is playable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is he just gonna be too big? You know, like
Yeah.
when you fight him, like he's just a giant
Yeah.
sprite, so you can't.
Because it'd be weird if you were playing as Shredder in the campaign of trying to stop Shredder. It's weird, but
Yeah.
maybe
Playable Vanilla Ice.
it'd be cool.
Hey, it'd be. I would totally accept any film references. Just
Same.
put it. It doesn't have to make sense at all.
Kino, right? In two,
Kano, maybe?
Kano.
Kano?
Kano
I
or
think it's
Kino?
Kano. I think
Okay.
it's Kano.
So
Oh boy, I don't know.
I feel like Kino.
Corrections. Might be Kano.
yeah, I think it's Kino.
I'm not getting corrections.
Secret of the
On,
Ooze.
on Secret of the Ooze.
Are we doing this
Right
right
now.
now?
Look
I'm,
it up right
checking,
now.
I'm checking.
No,
We're doing this right now.
I'm not letting you do this. I'm gonna beat Isla to it. Seen that movie way too many times. No, that's a TV episode of a
Oh.
show. No,
Keno.
Kino.
Kino.
Keno. I think they say
Hell yeah.
Kano.
I swear it's Kino.
If it's a Japanese word, it'll be pronounced Kano, but they might say Kino though.
Yeah.
Speaking of new characters, Morgana is coming to Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. A game
Yeah.
I was not expecting to like be almost on the edge of my seat finding out new characters. Was
This
that
is
just the
amazing.
Keeley magic, or
No,
am
this
I?
is so hype. The fact that they have Sonic and Tails and Beat and Kazuma and now Morgana, this is turning into a real deal thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like we need. I was thinking before they released Morgana, my guesses were Ryo from Shenmue or Majima.
I
thought it was gonna be Majima with like a knife.
I totally thought it was going to be Majima.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome.
This is all hilarious to me because I can't think of anything that matters less than Monkey Ball.
Well, it's like,
Who you are,
it's
like,
really
no,
the, it's
it
the
matters.
Yeah,
It's the back of these
Jojo.
characters. They should show all the characters from the back at first, you know, because that's really what you're gonna be staring at the whole time.
Monkey Ball is such an interesting franchise because like the people that have played the first two games and love them like are rightfully like really into the series and see what's kind of fun and magical about it, and then like no one else cares. You know what I mean? Like it's such like
It's been gone, I feel like.
yeah.
Are there mobile? There's like a lot
No,
of mobile
there-
ones,
there
maybe.
were-
There's
like-
a bunch of different things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Monkey Ball was one of the original mobile get other
There was
franchises
like
I
a
saw come
Monkey
to
Ball
mobile.
arcade game I played where I think you like actually rolled a ball around. It was kind of cool.
And that game is hard. I'm scared these are gonna be hard to unlock. I wonder if these are gonna be like just.
But
I don't know, like
but
some
it being
in-game
hard is like
currency
part
or
of the
something.
joy. Yeah.
I want some.
Like
of these.
those courses are some of those courses are insane.
Yeah.
And watching speedruns for Monkey Ball, let me tell you, some of
Yeah.
the most entertaining speedruns you
That
will
sounds-
ever see.
that
It's like
sounds so
that.
delightful.
Yes.
That
Holy crap.
jump on Rainbow
Yes.
Road and Mario's like Kart 64 that you can like maybe sometimes make. That's how you have to play Monkey Ball. Like you have to make that jump.
They're definitely, yeah.
Dude, in some of those speedruns, like it's like you're watching like a stunt man. And it's like it's just these little monkeys rolling around and very cutesy games, and they're like you see everyone like collectively hold their breath and then go, "Oh, we did it." It's like it's so awesome. Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Fall Guys is getting a crossover with Jungle Book, not just
So
characters.
Going from Nier to Jungle Book.
It is
man.
the yep. It is
Yeah.
the King Louis in-game
of
event. So
control.
this is courses and stuff like that. You know, like you're not just going through, not just characters being added to the game. And then just a slew of updates. You know, games that we knew about, but we got to see a little bit more. We got some new release dates or whatnot. Horizon Forbidden West is launching on February 18th. There's 60 FPS patch for Zero Dawn on PC. Halo is coming to Genshin Impact.
I think you meant PS5.
PS5. Yeah. For Zero Dawn. And Halo is coming to Genshin Impact.
No, Aloy is in Genshin Impact.
Already-
Halo is in Genshin
Already in
Impact.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. How did that feel? That was interesting. That was an interesting like delay of sorts when they announced that.
Oh, I mean,
Sony's not doing a ton this week, so it was
yeah, we've
interesting
known
that was
about
kind
that
of them
for so many
showing up.
weeks now that it is like, oh, okay, there it is.
Sure.
it's just that kind of thing.
Midnight Fight Express.
Yes.
Yeah.
One human speaking to the depths of my soul.
Meaning one developer.
One
making
person
the game.
is
yeah.
making this. Beat 'em up. It looks
next summer.
It looks really awesome. It's like environmental combat with weapons, but also like gun kata, whatever you want to call it. Like, looks really, really cool.
Really great animation.
Yeah.
That's what stood out to have a game like that coming from, a supposedly one man team. It's like, okay.
Well, even like
really
2,
good.
3, 4, 5-person team, you look for the thing that is the reason why it's that small of a team, or you see the goal that they set, the realistic expectations that they have. I look at this game and I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see the compromise that was made here.
Right.
But just having it be one person, that game looks amazing.
We kept rewinding, right? The rocket launcher guy in like the bathroom.
Yeah.
And just,
No, he's like a bishop in a church.
Yeah.
that was
It's
it.
like
Oh
say
my
hello to my
God.
little friend moment.
And the
Just
other
like pulls
two-
it out from underneath.
The other two clergy people are like, "Whoa, what are you doing?"
Not again. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, spring 2022. I don't know if I didn't notice this before, but you played a bunch of Lego games, right, Ben? Like this, the
I've
camera.
definitely dabbled in the Lego games.
The
Yeah.
camera in this game looks crazy. This looks like much more like a third-person action game
You definitely noticed that.
than like I did.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it right now.
Oh, okay.
Than like a platformer puzzle game, which is kind of like what they were. I'm sure there's gonna still be a lot of that, like moving stuff with the Force and.
Well, what's really interesting to me about the Lego games, I'm sure you can echo this, Brandon, is like I got into this huge Star Wars kick, and before that I wasn't really into the Lego games, but being into Star Wars, it got me to, play the original trilogy ones and then playing The Force Awakens, where it's like, oh, holy shit, like this isn't, they're not just like copying and pasting these games, like they're adding like brand new mechanics and styles of play, like they're really like a lot bolder than I would expect for this type of a licensed game where there are so many of them. And so you can even see that, I feel like, in the Skywalker Saga trailer, where it's like they're kind of doing a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The planet searching seems fun, that you can just kind of do the movies in any order you want to. You probably like unlock story events as you go through the campaigns, but if you want to just like back out of Attack of the Clones and jump in Return of the Jedi, like maybe it looks like you can do that. I just love Lando. Just
Yeah.
walking on the bridge, having a great time.
Jones, we should play that game.
Synced Off Planet.
It's another one of those games where the name stuck with me, but then I'm like, I don't
This game
know
was
what-
pushing hard. This game had 2 CG trailers. This was the zombies, but they're robots. And there's like
Right,
kind of
the
hacker
zombie robots.
survival.
Yep.
I don't remember
I don't
this
remember
at all.
this one.
It's
Shit.
a bummer, right? Because this game spent a lot of money at Gamescom for you to remember.
I don't remember this at all.
The
Synced
only
Off
thing I
Planet.
remember is the zombie robots. But
They had
yeah.
a showcase the day after the opening night live. That,
Is it like a
obviously
co-op
none of us
squad
watched.
thing?
Yeah. This is from the showcase. Okay, this is them actually showing off gameplay.
I might have
Oh, no, this
been
is the-
doing
this
a
gameplay
bio
was
break
from-
during
yeah.
this.
I think
might
they did a
have missed it.
showcase later.
Advanced alpha test starting September 17th.
I think I remember why I don't remember this is because I thought just visually it looked.
Yeah.
Well, it's-
it really
did not
really
stand
didn't
out.
feel very appealing
Yeah.
to me.
The gameplay now or gameplay later is tricky, Ben, because sometimes I
Right.
think you want to get in and out. Like you
Yeah.
want it. Like there's a lot of announcements. There's only so much time, and you have my attention span. Like I want to come in, show this to people who might be interested in it. Hang out with us tomorrow at this Twitch channel. We'll show you more details. If you're not interested, sorry for wasting your time. I'm out.
Yeah, good call.
But at the same time, if you're synced off planet, it's like do it all now because the spotlight's on you. Now's the time to
Sure.
tell us everything
Sure,
about
sure,
the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you know as a developer what decision to make. That's got to be tough. Splitgate is getting some good press. Splitgate is definitely a name
Yeah,
of
I
the
Yeah.
gotta play this. It looks
I
fun.
see. Season 0 has
I
started.
want to
People did
play
not know
Splitgate.
about the season structure, but they announced season 0 and started season 0. They're doing it.
I feel like just the buzz around Splitgate, it really feels like a grassroots kind of
Yeah.
like movement almost, where people are like, no, you should check this out. This is really good.
I imagine I'd be very bad at that game. King of Fighters 15 launching on February 17th.
Hell yeah.
How's
Okay,
that date
what?
working for you? Is that good?
Any date is good.
Nice.
Yes.
That is actually pretty bad because
February
the
is
day before
stacked.
Horizon, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I will.
Did I keep my February
I
list?
really
wrote all
like
the dates
Horizon.
down.
I
Yeah.
will absolutely prioritize King of Fighters
Nice.
over Horizon. Yeah.
Nice.
There's some
Yeah.
other stuff that's in there too, but yeah. But January through March is starting to look rough.
Yeah, February 17th to like the 25th is insane.
Every month is rough.
I
Unlimited
feel like the
games.
rollout for King of Fighters 15 has been super, super strong. And, you know, they had the delay, but they've been listening to people. They're implementing rollback netcode. They are kind of dripping out character trailers at such a rate that it's really kind of kept it as part of the conversation. Like, so far, it feels like they're making all the right moves. And I'm
Nice.
very excited about
Good
that.
momentum.
Yes, it has good momentum.
Great.
Bus
Maybe another,
Simulator,
uh,
September 7th.
You think
What's
it could
that?
have a Guilty Gear moment? I feel like
Ooh.
Strive kind of blew up Guilty Gear. I know it's always been a big franchise. Do you think?
Right.
And King of Fighters, obviously, name brand, big
Right.
big series. Do you think it'll have that level of success?
Well, I can't watch me forget something major, but I can't think of any other like fighting game kind of competing for its attention around that time. But I
That's
think
good, yeah.
a big part of why Guilty Gear Strive blew up in the way that it did is it really kind of reinvented itself to be more accessible. And so I wonder if King of Fighters 15 is going to have that same pull. That and of course the netcode was spectacular. And so we'll have to see. I think word of mouth for fighting games does a lot. And so if people get in there and they're like, whoa, this is really exciting, this is fun to play, this is fun to watch, and you get major streamers that are into it that build up that hype, I definitely think it could have, it could blow up.
Nice.
Maybe not quite as much, but it could definitely have a moment. Or
Sick.
be even more successful, I don't know.
Dope.
Bus Simulator, September 7th.
Woo.
Bus Simulator.
Yeah.
Now, I think they said they're like up in the top of Steam today.
Yeah.
They're like they're like 9th place or something.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's cool. My only reference for simulator is Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Yeah.
And I played it for like a week straight, and it was unbelievably good. It's one of those things where you have no expectations, you don't expect it. You're like, how could
Right.
this actually be fun? And it is so fun and addicting.
Well,
Man.
yeah.
Euro Truck Simulator 2, it's so good.
My last simulator game experience that I had was like Stadia.
Oh no, I'm sorry. This is Bum Simulator that was the top 9 on Steam.
Oh, come on.
One letter off.
One
not
letter
bad,
off.
Not bad.
Stadia had just come out, and like there was nothing to play on it. But Farming Simulator was
I
like a
always
free
wanted
game.
to play
No.
it.
And I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. Yeah. And I booted. It was like the most deflating experience I've had with a game in forever. Not because the game was bad, but I was like in the tutorial trying to figure out this farming equipment, and it was just like do this thing with this farming equipment. I'm just like I don't know. Like I can't figure it out. And it was just like I was just like absolutely stuck, and I closed the game. And I'm from Iowa.
Oh, it's so good. Oh my god.
I missed you, this co-moderator. Bum Simulator. Deadmau5 is launching his own world inside
Oh,
of Core.
gosh.
Which I love. Just, there's got to be. I'm familiar with Core and Deadmau5, but there's got to be people watching who are like, "Who's Deadmau5?" And the person next to him like, "What's Core?"
Didn't he say there was like a special way to pronounce it?
I joked. He was like Deadmau5 5, which is the official way to pronounce it. Ask your friends, or
Deadmau5
Deadmau 5.
or yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. Maybe he's changing it. Valheim's Hearth and Home expansion launches on September 16th, which I know very little about because I'm still working my way through other parts of that game. But and they had a very beautiful trailer that didn't really inform
Yes.
anything.
Correct.
I was like, I'm going to be playing this anyway. Pretty trailer though.
That Valheim money.
There is some Valheim money, which is like I could see devs being like, let's make a trailer, like let's get some animation company. And it's funny because they have some he like cuts off the head of the giant dragon and takes it back home, and I'm like, I just did that. That was an epic fight, man. He's like taking the boat. I'm like, this is resonating with me.
Hell yeah.
But we should probably talk about House of Ashes, which we didn't learn anything more. This is Dark Pictures Anthology, their next
We
chapter.
learned that
Right.
the monster has a statue.
And it's
Yeah.
And it's purple.
yeah.
Yeah, monster. Can't tell in the low light. But it
But,
will
like,
have a statue that you can see.
They had
You can
the
pre-order.
trailer, and yeah, it didn't feel like we learned anything at all.
No.
I think nothing in there was like new. It didn't feel like anyway.
I am
but you
so
don't want to
checked
see
out on this
trailers.
game.
themselves.
That's the thing. Like this whole series now has gotten to
Yeah.
this weird point to where I feel similar to like Life is Strange, where it's like, okay, show me the game exists. Cool. We'll play
Yeah.
that when it comes
Yeah,
out.
never
Yeah, that's it. I
never
don't need
show
to see
anything else.
anything. Anything. at all.
Exact. Like Hubert and I are gonna full play through it on the night it comes out,
Yep.
and then never think about it again.
Right?
Yep.
Unless
I'm waiting for the ultimate payoff with the curator.
The curator, dude,
That's
what's his
it.
deal? He's
Yeah.
a freak.
Yeah.
You just break into his room at the end of one episode. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we made it finally.
Dude, can you imagine, Hubert, if like
The final
in one of them, you go into a house and then you walk in and the curator's there and you're in that little
That'd
library?
be so
That'd be
good.
sick.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like unless they do some other crazy new mechanic, like with some other way that you get other people involved in it, or or crossing paths or something. Like mechanically, if you do something different, then show me that'll get me excited.
Yeah.
But I don't know in terms of like
Yeah, I don't
story
know.
stuff or anything like that that you're gonna hook me in a new way.
I think the curator's going to show an abandoned trailer. I think that's going to be
Oh,
the
I
ultimate
bet you're
payoff.
right. I bet you're right.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this series because everything on paper, it's such a genius idea. This, you can do a new setting, a new type of horror, new characters each time. You have so much creative freedom, and then you can tie it all in with the kind of meta narrative with the creator. But I don't know why it's not hooking people. I mean, there've only been 2, and the second one was just okay.
The first one was kind of just okay.
The first one was
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
second one was like not good, kind of. Yeah.
When we played through the
So-
first one, I was so excited about it because
Yeah.
Until Dawn was such a blast.
That's it. It just
And-
hasn't reached those heights.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's like Until Dawn was so much fun
Yeah.
because it was doing a type of horror that I feel like games hadn't really captured, where it
Right.
was that campy, like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, play this with your friends. It's kind of like scary and funny and dumb, and like really leaning into that kind of like camp horror. And then it's just like that first episode felt like all of that personality was
Yeah.
completely ripped out of it, and it was just this like generic, undercooked
Yep.
thing that. It just wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
And
know.
that's how I felt in Little Hope for sure.
I do wonder if they need to like lean back into the campy
Yeah, maybe
setting,
it is
like
too
vibes.
serious.
Yeah, because like Until Dawn had that like cabin in the woods. Like
Yeah.
this is what's happening, and like,
Yeah.
that's perfect. And all the Dark Pictures anthology have been kind of. Little Hope, I guess, had the potential for it, but I mean, this one certainly doesn't seem like it's doing
Yeah.
camp. It's like
Yeah, you don't have like
soldiers,
the
nah.
teenagers like pranking each other or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Like none of these guys are gonna go out and like, try to bum cigarettes off the older kids. Like that's not gonna happen, unless it does. That'd be funny.
That would be fun.
I just love the stakes of them all, but
Yeah.
just haven't really felt it.
That said, I mean, I love these. They're dumb.
That said, we're playing and streaming.
Yeah, they're stupid and wonderful.
Locked. Dolmen. Anybody in this panel know a lot about Dolmen? Dolmen's interesting because I saw it. I don't know if it was at Prime Matter
I
or
think so.
if it was, but this is one that stood out. This is like Sci-Fi Souls.
Oh right. Yeah.
This
yeah.
is it's kind of like you're the character from Returnal, but you are like
That's
very
right.
methodically going through a Souls-esque game where you are, very locked in, with your weapons, and you have to be very careful when you approach things. Lots of melee. Like the gameplay that I saw, the character had an axe and was just like hacking away at stuff. And then they had like this big CG trailer, and like I didn't get any of those vibes. And I wonder if it's like selling itself to the wrong audience, or it can do more to stand out. But we're not getting that till next year. That's on PC and PlayStation, Xbox, everything. But Dolmen, Dolmen. So yeah,
I just
anybody
think
who's
of
into
Dole
Souls-type
Whip.
stuff, which I don't
Yeah.
think they should go for. I don't think
No.
that's necessarily. It
I
is
don't
a
know.
white character.
A Dole Whip is
He's
pretty
in white
good,
armor.
dude. I think you should absolutely
They
go
don't
for the
expect
Dole
it
Whip.
sponsored.
It does
Dole
look
it
cool
out.
though. Like I remember from the trailer, and I was just looking at screenshots right now that like some of the weapons seem like improvised. Like there's one where they've got like alien claw hands, just like
That sounds
rope
sweet.
strapped to their arms. I don't know.
Creepy.
I don't know. Could be cool.
Yeah, it kind of stood out, and I was just I'm
Wasn't
waiting
the
for them to
Surge
have like a nice
Sci-Fi
blowout.
Souls?
The Surge is Sci-Fi
Yeah,
Souls.
Sci-Fi
yeah.
Souls.
Nobody Saves the World from Drinkbox, Guacamelee team,
Which
getting
Huber
early
forgot
next
he
year.
played.
And
That
looks,
was so long ago. Come
yeah.
on, you can't.
it's good. No, it happens.
No,
hardly
it
know what
was
day
not.
it is. I know 3
It's all go
allies
for
today that
Huber.
were like, "What's today?"
We
Oh,
didn't know what day it
like,
was.
come on.
There's some math
We
there.
did
It's
not.
podcast day. I always know what.
Oh,
day
this
podcast
is the
is.
one
I
where
have
you
played
can-
so many video games
You can change
since I
characters,
did
you
that
can
beta.
sync characters.
That was
so
in
they had
March.
They had like a
Merge job
reindeer with
systems.
shooting bows.
Dude,
and
March in
arrows.
this current reality we're living in
That
is
was
like
300
5
years
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
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 Kidding.
But
Things seem both too fast and too slow at the same time, which is
Yeah.
weird.
The thing that stood out to me though with this presentation is they talked about combining powers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing. Is like it's like your character can become a mouse or a dragon or an archer or a robot.
But you're not stuck.
And now
with-
it's
yeah.
like you can put 2 of them into the same thing, and you can have a horse archer. Like okay,
and showed it really well. I thought they in a
Yeah.
very short amount of time showed a lot of that stuff.
the art style is this crazy, grimy, weird thing. But I mean, Huber, you said you liked playing it. That was
Yeah, I really liked playing
That's
it.
the thing I wonder is is if they can sell people on how fun it is to play. Because
Yeah.
when I saw your footage, I'm like, I'm not sure. But then your impressions were on a different level.
The gameplay didn't sell it, Huber.
Yeah, you have to kind of think strategically when you're fighting, like what class you are and kind of spacing matters. But the leveling up is really fun. You can like unlocking all those jobs and stuff. I mean, that itself is fun.
Yeah,
and then obviously
I think
just
the number
wacky
of
world.
jobs on display is starting to be more and more, like what is going to be the crazy thing that's
Yeah.
going to happen next? Don't
Yeah.
show me too much of this.
Yeah, because all the classes do have strengths and weaknesses. Like it really matters kind of which class you are for each fight. So exciting. And Guacamelee 2 is. I can't say enough good things about Guacamelee 2. Oh my god.
Keep it coming. Outlast
So
trials.
good.
Keep it coming,
Yes.
Huber.
Ben and I were just talking about this.
We were. We're both.
Take it
we're
away,
both
Ben.
extremely excited.
Ben, you said it very eloquently.
Yeah. So I just recently played through Outlast 2, and I think the year before I played through Outlast and the Whistleblower DLC. And I've gone on record saying that, like, I'm getting kind of tired of, like, first-person horror where you can't fight back, you have to run away. But I think what makes Red Barrels and Outlast interesting is they really keep pushing it in terms of A, fear factor, and B, ideas. And, like, the first game, the DLC, and Outlast 2 are all very, very, very different from each other. And what I like about Outlast Trials is it's like they're not just making another Outlast game. It's like they're because like Outlast is actually scary.
So
You know,
scary.
there are a lot of horror games, but I don't think there are that many games that are truly scary.
True
and it's like
jump scare scary. This
Yes.
is the number one,
Yes.
and it's not even close.
yes,
Yeah.
and they really go for it. Like Outlast 2 in terms of like thematic content is fucked up. We talked about the scene with nails. You remember that?
Yeah,
It's just like
dude.
they really go for it, and it's like I don't know if it's going to work out, but how are you going to capture that spirit with multiplayer?
It's so hard.
And like I could see it either sinking or swimming, but I love that they're not, like I said, they're not just making another Outlast game and they're trying something different. And like that kind of ambition, I think, is really attractive.
Knowing Outlast, they'll probably have you like turn on each other
Yeah.
and like kill each other.
Yeah.
Like who knows?
Like with like spoons.
Yeah.
Like you have to kill the other person with a spoon.
Searching your inventory. I gotta have something. Really? Just a spoon. It's dull, you twit. It'll hurt more. Jurassic World Evolution 2, November 9th. Yep.
Yeah.
Bus Simulator, Jurassic World Evolution. Put it all on Island's list. Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. A Vampire the Masquerade game is coming out. Darn it.
Into early access, right?
September 7th on Steam. I don't know if that'll be
I
early
believe
access.
it is
for them.
early access.
Yeah,
I
pretty
think-
sure.
yeah,
I think that's-
Lots of
yeah,
jumping,
yeah.
lots of slashing, lots
It-
of shooting.
It looked okay.
Yeah.
Good
Could
battle
be fun,
royale,
though.
you know.
Could be fun.
But
I
a vampire battle royale.
Yeah.
I think there
Gets
were
me
some
hyped.
streams of it that I was I think Lyric was streaming it and I was watching it, and it looked swimming.
Swimming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
That's my
I-
like ceiling expectation.
It could be worse than a swimming, but it like fell into that zone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If Vampire can get to a third of the gaming status of Warhammer, I'll be happy. I just want a third of that. I don't want full Warhammer. So one game at a time. I'm excited. Jet the Far Shore.
Yes.
Yeah.
PS4 and 5 in Epic Game Store on October 5th.
Looks like a depressingly melancholic game. Like
but kind of strangely hopeful. They're discovering the new
Yeah,
planet.
hopeful,
You know,
strange,
they're
Hopefully.
doing
I'm
science
jazzed
and
about
stuff.
this.
Yeah.
The
Definitely muted for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
some of the character animations look a little jank, but I'm really excited for this. The exploration and stuff.
I'm a
looks really
big
cool.
fan of characters or vehicles or anything getting extremely small.
small, yeah.
But you can zoom in at the same time. So I still get a vibe that this world is happening, but like it's such a fun thing for scale to like move at a really fast speed in a really small thing across the planet. Crossfire X, no release date yet, but we keep seeing more of that. Sifu, which I'm so
Sifu.
crazy sold on. But I want to play February 22nd. That's the end of February.
Yep.
So many beat 'em ups. Rise of beat 'em ups. Let's go.
It really
New
is.
golden age.
Really
There's
is.
one game I'm specifically omitting that we will get to in a second that was featured during opening
I
night live.
keep waiting for it.
Oh, there's one game. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
I
actually
keep-
curious what that game is, but we'll get to another game. But Alexander Zarianoff on Patreon wants to know, what's our favorite trailer? Any trailers stand out from ONL specifically? Any of those things? Bus Simulator,
the
obviously.
DokeV trailer, I think,
DokeV,
was
yeah.
Just kept going.
was the
Yep.
trailer where I was like, wow. You know, it was like it had kind of that quality where it was just like exciting to watch, and it was different, and it was like impressive. It looked good, and it just had like a fun vibe. I think
Yeah.
just in terms of like raw energy,
Yeah.
it was the most entertaining.
Completely agree.
Yeah,
I didn't want that trailer to end. It gave me life. It gave me energy. I just wanted to like go do stuff. I was like, this is awesome. Yeah.
Standing out in another way, the Far Cry 6 story
Oh
trailer.
yeah.
Why?
Right?
We've had story trailers and we've
Another
had a
story
lot
trailer.
of focus on.
They should have called it like Story Trailer 2
character.
or 3 or something.
It's
like,
weird because we're getting to the point now where I feel like the Far Cry 6 stuff is like really starting to blend together for me.
Yeah.
And like I'm just kind of like tuning it out. Yeah.
Well, he's evil and doesn't care about
Yeah.
it, and we're good. I kind of,
Well,
we keep seeing
but
more
he's
representations of that.
curing cancer through tobacco.
Right?
Yes.
What special? You saw the special
What?
leaves? The special purple leaves,
Morley Gray.
right?
He'll have a relatable sob story that you'll like kind of feel bad for killing him, but then you won't.
Is it just me though? Is this game kind of
You'll get
starting to look
get
bad?
that XP, you'll cash in on some skills, and that'll be it.
Serious.
Hubert, do you get that sense that like faces and character models in this are feeling kind of dated?
Yeah.
I have that feeling.
Yeah, a little bit. Is this? Do we know if Far Cry 6 is cross-gen?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pro-
it is. Yeah, it is.
Ubisoft, so absolutely, right? Yeah.
Playing it safe.
Yeah.
And now, a word from our sponsors. There's a specialist for just about everything, right? When your car breaks down, you go to a mechanic. When there's a problem with your shower, you call a plumber. So when you want to get your uneven, crooked teeth fixed, you see an orthodontist. They're the specialists, and that's what sets Candid, the invisible, comfortable, and removable aligners, above the rest. While poorly reviewed or insanely priced clear aligner companies use general dentists, Candid only works with orthodontists. With Candid, the same orthodontist who created your plan is with you from start to finish, so you never have to wonder how you're doing. Your treatment is prescribed and closely monitored remotely by a licensed orthodontist who's an expert in tooth movement. You can book an appointment at a Candid studio near you to do everything from the comfort and convenience of your own home. The average Candid treatment is just 6 months. You'll start seeing results way before then, and it costs thousands less than traditional braces. And with your aligner treatment, you get Candid's teeth whitening for free. I'm happy about people getting Candid. I see that 6 months and I get angry though, because no dentist thing I ever did was 6 months. They
No.
were way longer than that.
Years and years.
6 months, get in there, get your teeth fixed. Candid can help you get the straighter, brighter smile you've always wanted. Right now, you can save $75 on your Candid starter kit when you get started from home, or you can book an appointment at a Candid studio near you today. Go to candidco.com/easyallies and use code EasyAllies. That's candidco.com/easyallies, code EasyAllies, to take advantage of a limited time offer to save $75 off your starter kit. candidco.com/easyallies, code EasyAllies. When's the last time you got rewarded for brushing your teeth? I try to reward Milo all the time, and he's not having it. How do you convince a child that this is good for you? Trust me, I know you
Fear.
hate elf.
Oh my God.
Fear.
Okay.
My mom was she was a dental manager for decades. She's just, yo, your teeth are gonna fall out. Show me like a rotting tooth. That was it. I'm brushing, all right.
With Quip's smart electric toothbrush, good habits can earn you great perks, like free products, gift cards, and more. The Quip Smart Brush for adults and kids connects to the Quip app with Bluetooth, tracks when and how well you brush, gets tips and coaching to improve your habits, earn points for daily brushing, bonus points for completing challenges like streaks, redeem for rewards like free products, gift cards, discounts from Quip and partners. If you already have a Quip, you can upgrade it with a smart motor. Keep the features you know and love. In addition to brush heads, Quip also delivers free fresh floss, toothpaste, mouthwash, gum refills every 3 months from $5. Shipping is free, so you can save money and skip the hustle and bustle of in-store shopping. Start getting rewards for brushing your teeth today. Go to getquip.com/allies. Right now, save $10 on a Quip Smart Electric Toothbrush. That's $10 off a smart electric toothbrush at getquip.com/allies. That's GETQUIP.com/allies. Quip, the good habits company. And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. What game didn't I talk about, Ben?
Halo Infinite.
Halo Infinite.
Yeah, they didn't really talk about it either.
Zap. Just kind of sauntered past the Xbox Gamescom showcase
Bizarre.
to show up a day later
Uh-huh.
in person, which not many people did. Keeley made a big deal about that. He's like, I've been doing these events from home, and it's a bummer. I finally get some people in Call of Duty Vanguard, showed off. We got a new character.
Yeah.
Laura Bailey was there to talk about her character.
Yeah, huge gameplay trailer.
Joseph Staten was there to talk about Halo Infinite. What do we know now that we didn't know about Halo Infinite last week?
Nothing.
Well, that's not true. They're products. They're things you can buy.
Yeah, but you
I
said
love
the
about
game.
one of them. What?
You said
Oh,
the
yeah,
game.
okay.
The question was, what more do we know about Halo Infinite?
Well, we know that there will be cutscenes
Right.
to start off seasons.
We do
Yeah,
know about a
multiplayer
character. They did
cutscenes.
introduce a character that was saved by an ODST crew, not maybe the ODST crew that you're thinking of, but drop shock.
No, why are we
troopers.
treating this with kids' gloves? Come
And
on.
then it's just a new character. Then you saw her. You were into the character, right? Yeah.
No,
You're feeling
yeah,
it?
and Destiny 2 has been doing this for a while now, where like their seasons are telling stories. They're moving the plot forward. You're getting cutscenes and stuff. So if Halo multiplayer goes that route, like that's something that gets me even more invested in online multiplayer. Is like, I love going in with my friends, unlocking things, just having a good time, getting some frags. But like if there's also kind of a background narrative, that keeps that
But
keeps
it's
me
not
invested.
clear to me how that trailer and that character have anything to do with multiplayer.
She's your tutorial character.
Yeah.
She teaches you, or she says
Like
stuff
back
to
at
you
the
over
base,
the mic
she'll
or
be
something.
giving you missions and stuff.
I mean, if
I
that's what the
suppose.
Infinite means,
But
like
that
it's like
yeah.
Destiny, and the game just keeps going with new content. Yeah,
And then they
sure.
add a new
She's
person.
the Zavala.
Yeah.
Didn't get the specifics though. And I want to talk about Halo separate from everything else because we will talk about the Xbox Gamescom showcase, which is not very exciting, so maybe we can get through it quickly. But I want to talk about Halo separately because we're in a weird period with Halo because they just had a beta that a lot of people jumped into, a lot of people got to check out, and there were relatively good vibes coming from it.
Flight.
Loved.
Release date December 8th, campaign and multiplayer.
Yeah.
But
That
at the
was
same
announced
time,
there.
this week we found out that campaign co-op in the Forge will not be there. But we
Mm-hmm.
had the date leaked, but they had the date confirmed. Elite controller, new console, which I bought live,
Which I ordered.
but at the same time, not new details coming out about the game.
Yeah, I truly don't know if I've been like this pissed off at a way a game has presented itself in a long time. And the reason I say that is because I care so much about Halo.
Yeah.
And this game was delayed for an entire year. We haven't seen any campaign footage for 2 years, and they went out of their way to
They
show
showed the campaign
up.
footage last year. That's what
Was it
led
last
to
year?
the delay. Yeah.
Okay.
See?
Sorry.
Time.
Ben,
That's
Who the
on
hell
me.
knows?
That's on me.
Who knows?
That's on
questioned
me.
you for a second.
Yeah.
I was like,
okay.
wow, it has
well,
been 2 years.
okay. That is true. I was wrong there. I still think the point not seeing it for
Right.
a year
Right.
Yeah.
and the game is out in 4 months.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure I wouldn't be as agitated if I had gotten into that technical flight and I got to play it and I was like, oh, this feels great. I'm sure it would feel completely different. But I didn't, and a lot of people didn't. And it's just it's like what really gets me is I think people are just so hungry to see it, especially after like so much has happened with Halo Infinite. They're hungry, and I think people want to be excited for Halo. I don't think this is coming from a bad place. And then to like go out of your way to show up and be like, "Here's a new console and a new controller, no new campaign footage." It's just like it just is like salt in the wound.
Yeah.
It really is, and maybe there is logic and reasoning on their end, but I think from an outside perspective to the average viewer, it doesn't instill a lot of confidence.
Well, here's the thing. The logic, the line of logic to me is kind of hilarious. It's like, okay, we showed you the campaign. It looked so bad that we had to delay it. And now we're gonna tell you the release date and ask you to buy a new console for it without showing you that we fixed it.
Yeah.
Like, what? What?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I mean, I bought it because it's got pretty stars and scarcity.
Well,
like,
true.
You just
Gold,
can't get
baby,
a Series
Well, Series X already has scarcity. But
X. Right, that's what I'm saying. You can't get a Series X. Like, I just ordered it because it's a Series X I could get.
It's pretty stars.
But it just
And pretty stars.
it's just strange to me because the multiplayer, like, yeah, they're doing flights and stuff, but the multiplayer's free to play. You don't
And I
need you
still
don't need
have-
that release date that much.
I strangely still have confidence, but it's like I see that December 8th date, and I don't know. Like I find out about a delay, and I kind of think, yeah, let it cook, take
Yeah,
your
let
time.
it-
That's
yeah.
great. I feel weird when somebody shows up and they're like, we're here to let you know, we're gonna do it by December 8th. It's like, well, I mean, you probably should because you promised, but it's I feel bad because it cannot be fun at Bungie over the next 4 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
And
the reason we haven't seen campaign has got to be because they're so terrified over people being scrutinizing it, and so it absolutely has to be the greatest, which just cannot be a fun developing environment.
Which
But
now
don't
it
get
can't
corrected,
be
you said
because the
Bungie.
co-op's gone.
Bungie, sorry.
Like no matter
343.
what now,
Oh my God,
the
yeah.
campaign is got
Yeah.
problems.
Right. And that's the thing is when you have such a like that showing of the campaign that they had, I mean, there was such a strong reaction to it that like to say it's coming out and not really like give people something that like in this moment at this like perfect point in time to like get people really excited and confident into launch is just weird to me. Like there is a weird feeling around this game, and I have not played it. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I really truly from the bottom of my heart hope it's fantastic, but I like it just feels weird. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, I really like Halo a lot, but I'm in a really good place with this because I don't like at all Halo 4 and 5. I do not like those video games. I just think,
I didn't play them at all.
yeah, I
wasn't
just didn't get into them. I finished the campaigns, played a little multiplayer. So for this one, I'm really excited about the multiplayer, not excited about the campaign at all. So I think that's helping me kind of just like weather the storm and kind of just be like, whenever it comes out, I have no horse in the race, I guess. Just
Yeah.
because like my loyalty to franchises are usually like 2 in a row, Like you give me a bad one, you give me Resident Evil 6, it's fine, I still love it, whatever. But if it's like, Halo 4, not very good. Oh, Halo 5, not very good. Like I'm good.
I mean, while I have a lot of problems with the story in 4 and 5, I still actually had like a blast going
Multiplayer.
through those campaigns.
Oh, yeah.
I really did. Like
Yeah.
like in terms
I haven't
of
played 5 yet,
Yeah.
but 4, I
A lot of
really
people like
enjoyed.
them.
Yeah.
A lot of people like them. Yeah, they're not bad games. I just don't like them.
But even 4 and 5 aside, like when I think of my fond memories of Halo, like when I think of Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, it's like, of course, I love the multiplayer, but that is a game for me, that is a series really, where like a great campaign and great multiplayer go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like if
Yep.
the campaign is bad, like even if the multiplayer is awesome, I'm still going to be
Yeah.
immensely disappointed.
Yes.
The weird, like, back to like 4 months out and we don't have footage. I feel like the feeling it gives me is that Cyberpunk should have been more of a cautionary tale to the industry, where it's like, if you're in a place where you're trying to please your shareholders, but like it seems so short-sighted, like if you're 4 months out and you can't show us campaign footage, like don't rush to hit that date because like it's gonna do more harm to you in the long run than just delaying it again, right? Like it's so weird.
It's concerning when it's like they announce December 8th and you're like, oh, really?
yeah.
I was
Are you
almost
sure?
like, oh no. I was like scared for them. I'm like,
Yeah.
that sounds awful. It sounds like everyone in your building just, started crying. It's just like, no, this is just not going to be fun. Who knows? They could totally stick the landing.
Yeah,
Could-
absolutely.
Multiplayer is free, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
So
you've got Game Pass, it's included.
So
And if you bought
because-
that new thing, you get it with it because I'm a sucker.
So because that's free, is the main primary way they can make money is off the campaign, so they feel kind of like obligated to launch it at
Well,
this
no.
point,
and
or
stuff you can buy.
Yeah.
I think that the model will
The
be,
online portion. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think the model may be similar to Destiny or Fortnite, where you do cosmetic stuff. But
Yeah.
honestly, I think this is the Game Pass game, where it's like, hey, new seasons. If you're a Game Pass member, you get it for free. Like they want you
Sure.
to just sub.
It's weird to be more hyped about the story in the multiplayer than the campaign.
I was endeared to
That's
that.
kind of
woman.
where I'm at.
I was
Wait,
endeared.
now.
we're still waiting to find out.
Yeah, like that is
Oh
my
yeah,
current...
because the last trailer we saw was just another weird Cortana
Yeah.
linked up
Chiefs
thing.
But I
Yeah.
did
Another...
It's not a good place to start a trailer, Ben, because
Yeah.
they were like, and now we're going to show the multiplayer trailer. And I was like, oh, cool. And it's a cutscene. I'm like, the hell is happening right now?
Yeah.
You know, so confused. Like, did they just say that wrong? Or like, oh, it's a character that's okay, all right. But I did get excited because it reminded me of like all the old Halo 3 cinematic trailers, and we got like all these. The
Some of the
campaign
best
was just
ever.
all over the place, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
and granted, that's just way too much money. You
I mean-
spend on one game's advertising, but
like I said, I think in Halo the campaign is really important to me, and even though I have story problems with 4 and 5, I really had a blast going through just playing. The act of playing those campaigns were really fun, and like they were visually like very beautiful. But with Halo Infinite specifically, it's like, okay, like they're really like mixing things up, and this is like crazy. Like they're blowing this up. This is going to be open world Halo, and it's just like it's like with the Pokemon Legends, right? Where it's like the idea is so good, I just want you to nail it, right? I'm so conceptually excited by this
Midnight
idea.
Suns, like,
Yeah.
yeah. Please do that well.
You can see it. How
You can
good it
yeah,
could be.
Your brain, your brain is like this is like potentially a childhood dream. Yeah.
You know, I want Cyclops for Midnight Suns, and you know it's not going to happen. They're not digging that deep. So.
Yeah, it seems like
much as I
that's
love
the
him.
roster.
I
Jones.
disagree.
wonder-
Deep.
You think?
He's like
Yeah,
the main
I-
guy.
I mean, you don't have to preach to the choir, man. You have to tell me.
If there was a
As
company
far as
that would dig
popularity
deep,
goes, you
it's
gotta dig.
Firaxis,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, Cyclops sucks, and you're weird for liking him. But
No, what?
Cyclops is cool.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Cyclops is cool.
What is your
Alright,
issue with Cyclops?
What
Why
is
does
the problem?
Cyclops suck?
He's very vanilla. He's
very
the leader.
vanilla.
He's the babysitter. He's the one who's always
yeah,
telling
he's
people what
like,
to do.
no, Logan, you can't have any
Right,
fun.
right, right.
Yeah. Have you ever
In a
heard
lot
of a
of-
straight man?
Well,
like,
that's the thing.
yeah.
In a lot of
Oh,
cases,
yeah, it's a mutant
believe me,
academy. I'm
it's-
sorry that
it's
they have a
Cyclops
leader
versus
that has a
Wolverine.
clear head and makes good decisions and actually has a fascinating relationship with Jean Grey, who goes psycho. Sorry.
Trust me, straight men are everywhere. I know.
Like, just you can't let everything slide.
Cyclops is great.
Optic blast, man. Optic blast.
Yeah.
Optic blast. I love a giant optic blast. Love it.
Yeah.
Marvel vs.
Because
Capcom.
it's sick.
Marvel vs.
Electricity,
Capcom
just
2 is still the biggest one I've ever. It just
Yes!
fills the entire screen.
Do you
It's
like
just
the?
ridiculous.
Do you like a stone cold?
Optic blast.
Do you like a stone cold Cyclops where he's just like blasting you, or do you like a Cyclops that's like, ah?
It depends.
Okay.
In storytelling, I like the Stone Cold.
Okay.
But for like fighting game, like
Yeah.
art for like ads aside, yeah. I like when he's like shooting in the sky, or like you're hitting
Yeah.
a plane. What are you doing?
I think the only X-Men I didn't really like was Jubilee. She was really annoying in the cartoon.
Oh, I like Jubilee.
Really?
There we go.
I didn't like Jubilee as a kid, but I like Jubilee as an adult.
Yeah, maybe I need to give her another shot. Because as a kid, I was like, who's this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'd probably be like, that's me.
Yeah, Jubilee rules.
Sadly, there were
Fireworks.
no X-Men featured at the Xbox Gamescom showcase.
There was nothing featured at the Xbox.
Stray Blade was announced.
Ugh.
Stray Blade.
Stray Blade.
Fight to regain your freedom in hyper-responsive combat scenarios, explore ancient ruins for rare crafting materials, and survive glorious battles versus legendary foes. It aims to blend Metroidvania elements with intense Souls-like combat. And I think it showed up at Keely's thing as well. I think they just popped up for like a second.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a reminder.
Because I didn't watch the showcase. I saw the trailers from
I
it.
said this in my reactions to the Xbox showcase, where it's like it's definitely getting to a point where Souls-like is becoming a negative for me. Like it's just like you say, like we're making a new Metroidvania Souls-like. It's like it better really be good, man. Like,
well,
I think that's where I agree with you in the sense that there was the Souls-like boom, and I was more okay with swimming. You know, like
Yeah.
oh, it's a Souls-like, cool. I want to play more.
Yeah.
But now because there's so many, the
It's-
Right.
pressure
it's
for
just
them to
been-
be better.
it's just been
Yeah.
years and years and years and years where it's like we're really inspired by Dark Souls. It's like, yeah, that's not enough. Like you need, yeah.
To me, it's always been a detriment because the reason that the Souls games made by From are so well regarded is because they're so like tight and like well made, you know? Whereas like a lot of the pretenders just feel like, hey, we made it difficult.
I
but
don't
it's
know
like not
if I
tight
agree with
enough
that.
to be
the
worth it.
pretenders.
I think you just need a hook where it's like the Souls-like Metroidvania market is like so oversaturated. I think that's
Yeah.
why like something like Blasphemous immediately comes to mind, where it's like, okay, yes, this is clearly Souls inspired, but it's just so visually incredible that it grabs your attention, right? It really it doesn't just like rest on it being a Souls-like, right? It's just like a super creepy, gothic, incredibly detailed world that like you're drawn to. And I feel like a lot of times like I see these games and it's like, this looks like Souls, but I can't find the hook. Like what here makes me like want to play it, or what makes it so much different than everything else.
I'm into SteamWorld games. I'm drawn to those.
Yes.
The SteamWorld team is working on the Gunk.
Yes. And Gunk looks
Which is Xbox
fantastic.
exclusive.
Like just visually, it really stands out. Yeah.
That was at the Xbox showcase, right? That was the best thing
Yes.
they showed.
Yeah, it was
Coming this December.
yeah.
More Gunk,
I think Forza
please.
Horizon 5.
Oh
was-
yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Forza
Yeah.
Horizon 5.
November 9th.
Yeah.
Keeping me on point.
No,
Keeping me
but
on-
Gunk,
yeah.
Gunk
No,
looks great.
no.
I'm not trying to take away from Gunk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gunk and
Every
Forza.
time Gunk is shown though, it's like so brief.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just. Yeah. It's,
That's true.
And I thought SteamWorld Quest was the first time they
Yeah.
didn't give me a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like SteamWorld Dig 1 and
The pace
2
of that
and,
game was a little
and
rough.
Heist I just adore. And Quest was just okay. So I'm wondering
Yeah.
if maybe they were just like prioritizing the Gunk, because it does seem like a much bigger.
I don't think they probably were working on both of those at the same time.
Okay.
There's
know
some
that
math
they're-
involved there.
There's some numbers, there's some math.
Their modus operandi before was like a game a year, I think, or maybe every other year. Gunk feels like it's taken a little longer than usual. Obviously, COVID, but
Play SteamWorld Dig 2.
But
Well,
also,
SteamWorld
like,
Dig 2 is
SteamWorld's a
phenomenal.
huge
Perfection.
different direction for
Very
them.
different direction,
Yeah,
yeah.
And a big 3D world and all that. So there's a whole lot of other
yeah.
things that have to go into it.
I love when things are a different direction, but some like it fits. You know, it's like
Yeah.
yes, I can. It still has your kind of signature on it in a cool way.
Do we want it to be in the SteamWorld universe?
I was just thinking.
we
about
want it?
that. I think it'll either be, knowing them, I think it'll either be distant past or distant future.
right. Yeah.
That'd
if
be
they
great.
time travel, I'm okay with it.
It'll
yeah.
be
sure.
linked for sure.
Cool.
And there will. I mean, you're going through caves and stuff. There'll be Easter eggs. You'll find something.
They'll
Ooh, what's this
definitely
big
be-
robot
yeah.
anyway?
Yeah.
Forza Horizon's November 9th. Age of Empires October 18th. Hands-on history mode, where you can unlock 28 videos of
So sweet.
live-action history research.
That's kind of awesome.
Love that. It's like Discovery
Yeah,
mode vibes, you know?
you weren't there because you
Yeah.
were doing the Riders Republic thing, but it was so funny because they started showing this trebuchet video, and like
That's where all the trebuchet talk is
yeah,
coming.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And
They're
it
all
was
like,
so
"What
weird
is
because
this?"
it's. I recognized it because like
Shit.
I've actually been there. I've actually seen this trebuchet in real life before.
That's my trebuchet.
This ball is the weight of 2 men.
so.
Yeah.
So that was funny.
So
but-
wait, they announced
this
that
man
you
is the
can
weight of 2 balls.
you can unlock those videos in game.
Yeah, it's part of the game,
Our
yeah.
stream crapped out when they were about to explain how they keep
There you
arrows
go.
from stopping being on fire.
Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is on Xbox now, is getting World Update 6. They're doing the World Updates of Roman numerals, which I respect.
That was a really long part of the showcase.
Oh
Yeah.
my God,
Germany,
yeah.
Austria, and
Yeah.
Switzerland.
Wow, that was long.
Yeah.
Whoa. Remember
It's a long game.
now.
Just play that game. Sea of Thieves showing off a new ship designed in partnership with
Oh.
Gearbox Software.
yeah.
It was hideous.
It
was hideous.
It's an ugly ship, but most of their game crossover ships are pretty ugly. Like the Battletoads one is pretty bad. The Ori one was kind of cute, but yeah.
Trumbull Valley. Do you remember Trumbull Valley? Do you know that name if I throw that at you, Ben? Trumbull
I
Valley.
remember saying Trumbull.
That's the map in the first State of Decay. It's coming to State of Decay 2
Oh,
Juggernaut Edition,
yeah.
remastered.
Yes.
Um,
Downloaded it.
Nice.
nice.
PC or Xbox?
Xbox. Stock Xbox.
Wasteland Cult of the Holy Detonation, which is their second and final expansion to Wasteland. $7 on Steam, GOG, Xbox, PlayStation. 10% if you got that Game Pass. 10% off. Dying Light 2 showed some more stuff. Crusader Kings 3 is coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, which fans of that game are like, what?
Yeah,
like,
like,
how is that?
how?
That is maybe the clickingest game of 2021, and they are completely redesigning the UI. I guess it's getting haptic feedback on the PlayStation 5.
Hey man,
Not sure what Crusader Kings 3 needs to
Whoa.
That's interesting.
connect you to.
never say never though. My favorite way to play XCOM was on PlayStation, so
Humble Games
Why?
is bringing a bunch
I
of stuff.
liked it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
I
I
can't
played-
argue with that.
Yeah, I
can't
played
argue with
Darkest
that.
Dungeon on console. It worked really well. You know, you're like cycling through. It worked fine.
I got the most random urge the other day to play Halo Wars. I don't
Yeah,
I don't
play
know
it.
what it was.
Why not?
Try it
Game
out.
Pass.
Yeah. But just these things not built for consoles. Get it on there. Humble Games is bringing a bunch of
Halo
stuff.
Wars definitely was.
definitely built for consoles.
That was
yes.
No, but I
That
mean
was the
just
selling point.
RTSs
Yes.
in general, and so
Gotcha.
that was
Yeah.
their challenge.
Yeah.
Got it. We're avoiding corrections, Johns.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Humble Games bringing a bunch of stuff to Xbox Game Pass, but specifically, and I think might not have been a big moment in the showcase, but I think a big announcement that finally dated for Xbox. Cloud gaming coming to Xbox Series X and S and One this holiday. Don't know specifically. Xbox
Yeah.
Game Pass Ultimate is required. And
Hey, wait, Signalis looked really cool from that Humble thing.
Yeah.
Oh, from the Humble Game. Oh, nice.
Looked
Yeah, that was a
like weird,
montage.
freaky. Yeah, I don't know.
Market intelligence firm Newzoo made the claim this week that cloud gaming will generate $6 billion globally in 2024. So a lot of people think market intelligence thinks that cloud gaming is going to be big. And we've just there's lots of updates that I've been like, should I bring this to the podcast of them being like, it's coming to this console or they're having this beta. Cloud gaming is going to happen someday. Holiday. We're getting into it with
Get
Xbox
your
specifically.
coin investments ready.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Time to invest.
yeah, it's the 1-2 punch of Game Pass plus xCloud, but it's all dependent on the connections. It's so dependent on it. I'd be curious. I got my internet finally fixed not too long ago, but I haven't been able to put it through its paces to actually see what the improvement is. So I need to pop on the Stadia and the Luna and all that stuff and see how they fare these days, and then maybe it's give the xCloud a try as well.
Let me know if Arkham Origins runs well on PS Now.
But yeah, that's the one thing that's been interesting about xCloud is it's just been such a slow incremental rollout, which I think is probably good on their part. But yeah, at actually being playable on a console. So now like one of the headlines out of that is like, you can play Series X games on an Xbox One.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting concept. And I think it's gonna push things in some new different directions. It'll make it, if it did work well wherever I travel to, it would be interesting to take the Xbox One and leave the more expensive Series X at home.
Sure.
And like, all right.
Huber, we've had this conversation before, but have you tried PS Now and PS5?
Not on PS5, no.
Yeah, no.
Legit?
We had this exact same conversation on Frame Trap. Yes.
You played
on PC and PS4. Every time I tried PS Now, I
Yeah.
was disappointed, and then I
Yeah.
played it on
Yeah.
PS5.
I remember now.
And it was like night and day. Like,
Wow.
and I don't know if I just got lucky, but I mean, I've used it multiple times on PS5 and been really, really, really
Sick.
happy. And so
I
I would
remember.
try it on PS5 if you have not.
Nice. Ben Moore freaking
It's that Red Dead Redemption on
seal
PS
of
Now.
approval
Yeah.
right there.
Easy way to play PS3 games, which is nice.
Yeah.
Also this week, there was a Bungie Destiny 2 event. Did you check this out? Are you excited
I
about this?
am sucked back in.
Wow.
I'm fully sucked into the Destiny world.
Because I was going to spend some
Sucked
time
in.
on this.
Which
but,
queen?
Oof.
Which queen?
Which
Which queen? I'm so sucked in. It's a really, if you've been away from Destiny for a very long time, this is a really good time to get back in. It's this whole season. The entire
There's a
season
lot. This is a huge update.
is a build up to the expansion with like,
Right.
it's basically gonna lead right into the
So
expansion.
Season of the Lost is
Yeah.
building up to Witch Queen, which is
Yeah.
February of 2022, which is
Yeah.
nice because nothing's happening in February. So nice.
Yeah. I haven't played since like a little after Beyond Light, so it's always nice to just hop back in for some low stakes Destiny. I've been out of the loop for a while, but the community told me that it's in a very good place right now because with Beyond Light, I got burnt out because the dailies, the weeklies, all the bounties, there were 1 million things to keep track of at all time, and it just was stressing me out. I haven't been this stressed from just playing a video game for fun in so long. So everyone told me now that the grind is like an hour a week or a couple hours a week to like hit your quotas and stuff. That's what everyone said. I haven't tried it myself, but everyone's like, yo, it's in a really good spot right now. Low stakes, low investment.
What is the status of load times in Destiny these days?
Really good because they
Yeah.
had the current gen versions launch. I'm playing on PS5 now. Super good.
Yeah.
So way
I
better
was just
than they ever
wondering,
were. Yes.
like, do you need to have
Yeah.
King of Fighters on one monitor to play
Right.
while Destiny is loading on the other monitor?
Yeah. way faster now.
You do need to have something to play while you boot up Guilty Gear, though, because it takes forever.
Takes a bit.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Savathun, I guess is the Witch Queen.
Yeah.
And I liked when they announced her. They immediately said the height, like on social media. They were like, "Oh, by the way, here's her height." They knew. It's a new
Play
thing.
into it. Play into it.
Welcome to the new era of tall gals in games.
Yep.
Gotta know.
21 feet.
Did you look at? You just looked it
I
up.
just looked it up.
Woohoo! That's the bar. It's literally the height bar is
She's
set.
the one to beat.
Yep. And Gallarhorn. It's coming back from the first Destiny. Man, I'd never unlocked Gallarhorn, but I know that name. I saw that.
Gotta get that.
Got to get it. Lance Barr retired. Who, if people are not familiar with Lance Barr, he designed the US NES and SNES. If you were familiar with those designs, you have Lance Barr to thank. I guess the original NES went to CES, and people were like, bleh. Like they didn't like it, and so they like got back. And
Well,
the whole
it was
team
part of the
jumping on him.
console crash thing. So top loading reminded people of Atari. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with video games, and so they had to redesign the NES to look more like a consumer electronics product and try to distance itself a bit to get people, because people were like, I have my job because the last person lost their job trying to sell video games.
It's a fun time.
So yeah.
He worked on the NES Zapper, Advantage, Max, hands-free controllers, and the Wii and the Wii Nunchuck. And he just on LinkedIn was like, "Yeah, I retired." And people were like, "Wait, what?" Like, so thank you, the person who saw that and knows who he is, because that's not a name I recognize, but he's done some great stuff.
I wouldn't have either.
Asterix and Obelisk is getting a beat 'em up called Slap 'em All!
Yes.
Exclamation point. Gamasutra has changed his name to Game Developer. It's kind of like Game Trailers.
Finally,
That's a
yeah.
confusing name, though.
That
Kotaku
is a
when?
weird name.
People are like, "Hey, Game Trailers, you make Game Trailers?" Like, no, we just we do reviews too. We're streaming now. It's confusing. Never mind.
When I went home in March, my grandparents asked me how it was going making video games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What'd you
Great.
say?
Great.
It's good. It's good.
It's great. It's going great. I just made this game called No More's Hero 3. You should play it.
I was just like, I just, politely, I was like, oh, no, I don't make video games. And, like, that, like, ended the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, what? Yes, you do.
That's why you come here to talk about games. Pinhead from Hellraiser is now Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Yo, when
It
we're
looks
done,
awesome. And
I'm
I've heard,
anytime.
Please hunt me.
Absolutely. I want to play Hellraiser.
I've heard you
Dead by
actually
Daylight
kind of have
so
to solve a
badly.
puzzle, like to make the box work.
Hunt me, Ben.
You got to look up the Mori, the execution for it. It's really good. Yeah.
Somebody remade the first part of Simpsons Hit and Run in Unreal
God,
Engine
it looked incredible.
in 1 week.
Post that in Slack. I hope you watch it. It looks so good.
It looks great.
God.
Apparently
Hit
they
and Run.
removed it now.
Well, that's what happens.
Or
Watch Dogs.
they removed their Patreon.
Watch Dogs Legion got a crossover with Assassin's Creed.
Not canon. Filler.
Legion of the Dead just kind of
Not
happened
canon.
there too. You made a comment like Legion of Dead seemed like a pretty big thing. And then they're just
Apparently,
like,
it was already out on the PC, but it hadn't come to consoles yet. But yeah, they had a lot of updates.
Legion actually had a lot of stuff coming into it this
It's
year.
interesting. That game's getting a lot of post-launch support, but I'm not sure where that community is. I don't hear people talking about it.
Right.
Probably in the pipeline for like years. It's classic Ubisoft, right?
Big Ubisoft communities keep those games going. Pokemon Go used to have 40 meters as their Pokestop distance. They upped that to 80 in the pandemic, and then we're going to go back, and fans were like, "You're so stupid." And they were like, "Okay, fine, we'll keep it at 80." I don't know why. I don't know what the monetary advantage is to bring it back down to 40. Like, I don't know why.
I don't know necessarily a
I think
monetary
you need to
advantage.
get
It's just
closer
the way
to
the
that
game is
Pokestop.
designed.
Yeah, I think they said in a statement, like, we just really want to encourage the, like, get out there, socialize aspect of it.
Maybe later. Dr. Disrespect claims he's going to sue Twitch for damages after being banned last year. We talked a little bit about them being more transparent with that. Apparently he knows or has found out or maybe is
really?
pretty sure he knows what happened. And he's going to bring it to court. We'll see how that happens or how that plays out. CinemaCon, which is also happening right now, showed some footage from the Uncharted movie. Apparently it's very Uncharted.
Yeah.
Apparently a lot of people were like,
falling, jumping and falling and shooting
That's
and
Uncharted.
exploding.
Hollywood should know how to
Sick.
do that. So
Yeah.
hopefully.
Hey, Tomb Raider, swimming. I like it.
Netflix,
Sick movie.
The whole thing. Oh, the movie specifically.
Yeah, I like the movie.
Netflix is launching Stranger Things 3 and Stranger Things 1984 on Android devices in Poland. That's their slow rollout
Wait,
for
say that
Netflix
again?
games.
Say that again.
Stranger Things 3 and Stranger Things 1984
Yes.
only on Android devices and only in Poland. So I think that's the game you're familiar with. Coming to
Stranger
mobile
Things 3, the
through
game.
Netflix.
Oh my
So
god.
I think we might not see something from Netflix for a while because these are things that like already existed that they're just kind of porting in a weird way because they took them off of other stores.
I really hope they make another one of those when the new season comes out. That game is so fun.
Speaking of Dead by Daylight, go get that Stranger Things stuff because going away.
Yep.
Activision Blizzard, the suit expanded to include contractors, not just the permanent employees within Blizzard, and the DFEH claims that Activision destroyed documents that they needed.
Nice.
But again, all this is just noise happening in the
Just when
know.
you think they couldn't get
None of,
Yeah.
that, yes,
dumber.
none of that has
Yeah.
been proven in the court of law.
You ever
There's
seen the
just,
movie
just
Boiler Room?
accusations. Right.
Shredding.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that one scene in Spider-Man: Homecoming with Shocker under the bridge.
Right. You know what I mean? When they're destroying, when they got the paper shredder.
That scene is a mood, dude. It
is.
Such a good.
And they're changing McCree's name. But
and
we
the change of
don't know
McCree's
to what
name.
yet.
Right. I'm waiting for more of that to develop. Yeah. To find out
Nick
what they're calling it
Lawsuit,
when
am
it
I
happens.
right?
Yes. And there's all sorts of little tiny details to go into there. Streamers are planning to ban Twitch on September 1st for hashtag a day off Twitch
Ban
to
Twitch?
protest.
Boycott.
Well, they're boycotting
Boycott
Twitch.
Twitch,
Sorry,
yeah.
They're doing their own bans. Twitch is gonna ban people. They're gonna ban them right back.
Twitch, I ban you.
Yeah, they're banned just for a day. To protest hate raids, which are getting a little bit out of control, and protesting
out of
Twitch's
control.
reaction to it
It's-
specifically.
I just
Do better. Twitch.
Confusing why they haven't moved farther and faster.
I can't understand how it's ongoing.
38 Studios, which is not a thing anymore, they made Kingdoms of Amalur. The developers who used to work at 38 Studios are finally getting paid. It is a fraction of what they are owed, but they are finally getting that long overdue paycheck. And Fortnite is doing an event honoring Dr. Martin Luther King called A March Through Time, which is weird. It's nice. Obviously, this is a great man that we want to honor in many ways possible. Watching a bunch of people standing holding assault rifles watching video, it's weird. It's just a little strange. It's a weird game
I saw people emoting during it all, and it was really.
It's a little
weird.
strange. Superman
It's weird to
watching
go
a screen
from
with MLK
an
on it is
Ariana
just kinda
Grande
like, whoa.
event to
Yeah, it just doesn't.
yeah.
Yeah, just the they should have maybe mixed it up a little and had people like maybe go into a theater or like have seats. Just everyone like emoting around during it didn't feel right.
Right.
Didn't feel right.
Yeah, it feels like something that could almost backfire, right?
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
were just talking about hate
Yeah.
raids. It's like
These are strange times.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's, and
Fortnite's a
saying,
strange game and a
Yeah.
strange time.
Yeah.
like you're saying, it's good for people to see
Of
that
course.
speech and
Of
like
course.
expose young people to Martin Luther King.
Like many decisions in gaming, the heart is in the right place. It's
Yeah.
just when you kind of step
Yeah.
back and look at the big picture,
Yeah.
it's odd.
Yeah.
It's odd. It is now time for Love and Respect.
love and respect.
Sounding good. From Happy Gaming. There are a lot of movies and franchises being made into games nowadays, from Indiana Jones and 007 to the recently announced RoboCop, newly released Aliens game, and on top of that, the announcement that .emu wants to make even more based on nostalgic franchises. There doesn't seem to be any shortage of licensed properties being readapted into the interactive medium. With that in mind, I thought it would be fun to go over some films and franchises that could be adapted. I'll present two potential ways certain properties could be adapted into a video game spin-off. You are head publishers. It's up to you to give the go-ahead to only one of the two ideas. This is called That's a Wrap, as that was You Should Say to Your Decision. Have fun. The Bill and Ted franchise. Should we make a retro-style JRPG inspired by Chrono Trigger, where you go through historical events and build a crew of famous historical figures?
I love it.
Or, some of these are obvious, but they're fun. Or a music rhythm game where you play as the Wild Stallions, recruiting historical figures inspired by games like Parappa the Rapper.
The first one.
The
First
first
one
one
is so
for
much
sure.
more fun. Yeah.
yeah.
And like going to all the different time periods, yeah, that'd be awesome.
They had a game back in
Yeah, they did.
the 90s.
A franchise that is still making money in film, making a lot of money in film, but just can't seem to
Fast
get
and Furious?
eyeballs on it in games. Rocky.
Yeah.
Should we make a light open world inspired by Yakuza with brawler battles and side stories, or a retro-inspired arcade game like Punch-Out with light RPG progression? I feel like that Punch-Out game we've gotten like a bunch
Yeah,
of
we-
times.
That first
I
one?
feel like
Or
the
like
the
crossovers in other
Yakuza
games.
brawler doesn't really work for Rocky.
Like Rocky 5 only kind of, you know?
I don't know. Like he's walking around town doing
yeah.
small jobs, trying to get money, like trying to go on dates with Adrian. You know, like I don't know.
That'd be Sophie. You just go by her house. How you doing?
Hey, let's
Turtle
go
feeding.
I brought you a sandwich.
get some noodles.
I just feel like
I'm doing it.
I don't know. I just feel like Rocky getting into like street fights constantly would
Yeah, it's weird.
be weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I was picturing
when
that,
when they
the
run up
fighting
the
with all
stairs
the
at the end,
events.
there's like guys with black eyes in the back, and you're like, I fought that guy, and you're like, yeah, they're like cheering for Rocky. Star Wars, you heard of it? Are we making an immersive sim inspired by the design of Deus Ex, where you play as a bounty hunter tracking a murderer?
There's no way the second option is better than that
Yeah.
one.
Or it's not bad, but yeah, a stealth game in the style of the original 3 Metal Gear Solid games, where you're a rebel secretly infiltrating a Republic base.
No, first one easily.
First one.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably being made right now.
And then it'll be canceled.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say.
That was very good. Yeah.
Studio Ghibli, how about? Would we like an open world RPG like The Witcher or Breath of the Wild set in the world of Princess Mononoke, or a sim management game where you have to take care of the bathhouse and creatures from Spirited Away?
Man, I don't know
First
if I like either of these ideas because I really like what Nino Kuni does, where it's not like it's set in the world of this movie.
Sure.
Because I think Ghibli movies are so wonderfully self-contained that I think you can tell an original story in that style without having to kind of like go revisit the well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just make an open world RPG with
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli. So,
Yeah.
Shout out to Oliver.
Yeah, but first one though.
Here's a deep cut. A deep cut, very specific film. The Princess Bride. Never got a video game adaptation as far as
That's
I know.
not true.
Did you get an adventure game or something back in the day?
It got a game. Just
Oh,
a
it
couple
did. They
years
like
ago.
remade it. Yeah, they wasn't based on the movie. It was based on the book, wasn't it? And it was like its own weird thing.
I think it had a tie into the.
2008.
I mean,
Yeah.
Inevitably,
I
it'll
guess
have a
it's
tie.
Longer
tie
ago
into
than
the
I thought. But yeah.
But if we want to make a Princess Bride game, are we going to make a co-op only adventure similar to It Takes Two, where you and a friend play as the cast in different scenarios in the world of the movie, or a dating sim where you play as an alternate universe Buttercup and find out the true meaning of love?
The first one.
First one, yeah.
Fun.
It Takes Two is excellent. How about The Mummy?
Woo.
Mummy Demastered.
Do we want
Mary got it.
I know. Do we want a Left 4 Dead style co-op shooter where you and friends have to get out of deserts full of mummies, magic, and monsters, or a point-and-click adventure game inspired by LucasArts games of old?
The second one.
Second
Oh,
one,
nice.
Yeah.
No,
There
I
were
think
too
it's
many
the
in the
first
first
Especially both those
Sure.
indies, yeah. Fate of Atlantis and
Sure.
Last Crusade. And finally, a franchise very near and dear to my heart, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Do we want a PT-inspired psychological horror where you try to escape your own nightmares, or Dead by Daylight-inspired game where one person plays as Freddy and everybody else tries to
Nah, one.
escape?
First one.
Well, Freddy is in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I don't like either of these. I think PT is too serious for Nightmare on Elm Street. I guess you could take that style and make it less
Lighten it
serious.
up.
Yeah, like there's something like I think Nightmare on Elm Street at its best is like kind of sinister and funny.
Oh, yeah, very funny.
So I think having that humor in there and having it be natural would be very important because like there's nothing funny about PT.
Dude, you know what I
don't know,
get?
Gouge It Out's pretty hilarious.
You know what I get Nightmare on Elm Street vibes from is Persona. When I played Persona 5, I was like, this is kind of like Nightmare because it's these kids meeting
Yeah.
at school being like, what the hell
Well,
just
and
happened
going
last
into
night?
these metaverses.
Yeah. So it'd be fun. You could make an RPG where you're just trying to take down Freddy, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you just
but
you
I
keep
think there's,
gunning,
like,
go in, try to survive, and you lose kids and they drop out of the story, and you're like, oh, that guy his powers were so cool.
I think there's something too that could work in terms of this like fear of falling asleep. Like you've got to do activities or like pop caffeine or something.
Right.
There's, like because I think there's when you're talking about a psychological horror, like that's sort of part of it too, where you turn a corner and you don't really know like am I asleep or am I awake right now?
Yeah.
And you start just getting those little clues that terrify you little by little.
Well, Eternal Darkness, like that moment. Can you recognize that moment when it crosses over, where you're in the Twilight Zone now? You're like, oh,
That's-
wait, the game's messing with me.
I think that's actually the comparison.
Yeah.
Is like an Eternal Darkness style.
Like you're
game.
playing other game genres, because that's basically what he's doing. He's messing with the dreams you're already
Yeah.
having. So it's like, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm a soldier
Isn't
in
it,
the
isn't
stream,
it
and he's like,
Nightmare 6 where he does
Commander
put them in a
Freddy.
video game and it's super stupid?
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I get my numbers
He
confused.
does. Yeah, I think it's 6.
From Splontot. In terms of difficulty, I had an interesting journey with Ninja Gaiden since playing it for the first time once the collection came out. I booted up Ninja Gaiden 1 for the first time and naturally put the game on hard. Well, that was a bit of a mistake, I quickly learned, spending well over an hour in the first level
So
without reaching
hard.
a single checkpoint. I gave up, went to bed for the night, starting again when I got home from work the next day. This time, though, I put it on normal. I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't just enemy health or damage that changed, but enemy types entirely. I progressed through the level, eventually beat it. Halfway through the second level, I apparently died too many times and wasn't paying attention as I mashed X to respawn and start again. Surprisingly, I got a cutscene of Ayane talking shit to me and the difficulty dropped to Ninja Dog. Well, I can't have that. I have my pride to uphold, so I restarted again, got back to hard, which I'm still on about 2/3 through the game. I don't think I've played any game in a long time that handled difficulty as well as Ninja Gaiden does. What other games have interesting and meaningful What other games have interesting and meaningful changes between difficulties? Also, are there any
Devil May Cry
games
5 absolutely does.
are any games you have raised the difficulty on out of spite?
I mean, I love Grounded Mode and
Bring it.
Last of Us like so much.
I don't know if I've raised the difficulty out of spite. I can't think of an instance.
GoldenEye, baby. All the other stuff you have to do on the
Yeah.
higher difficulties.
But I didn't do it like I wasn't.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, not that.
Yeah.
That was my example.
Yeah.
My favorite RP element of Grounded Mode and Last of Us, Jones, is that Joel's revolver one-shots humans. So it just makes the iconic gun like the iconic weapon of that mode. I just think it's so cool. Because ammo is so scarce, but you really rely on that pistol.
I can think of an example that does kind of weirdly apply to this, where it was a very specific time where I was really into achievements, and I was playing everything on hard, and I was playing Enslaved Odyssey of the West, and I was playing it on hard, and it was not fun. Like, it was like, because the combat wasn't like that great, and so like making things harder just wasn't super fun. I do really like that game, but it's like I should have put it in normal, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do it, and I was really stubborn about it at the time. When was that? Was that like 2010? Something like that. It was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds right, 2010,
somewhere
11.
in there, 2009,
Yep.
2000.
Yeah.
I think to me what they're talking about, especially like with different enemy types and or not even necessarily types, but just attacks that you haven't seen before. Like I think one that springs to mind is like Dark Souls 2. You know, when you can new game plus like a region, an area, and there are things that you could go through that whole game and never see those enemies, and then when you get into the new game plus, then like, there's this giant pig or whatever I haven't seen before. And I really like that kind of idea and the GoldenEye idea of where you're not just
Additional objectives.
Yeah, you're not just making things into bullet sponges.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
Yep.
I really love optional objectives for challenges. So I've been playing Shadow of War, and when you do challenges in that, it's like, okay, yeah, if you just get through it, you'll get this reward. But if you do this bonus objective, you also get this reward. If you do this other bonus objective, you also get this reward. And I love kind of that dynamic difficulty where it's not like, oh, you're just picking, easy, normal, and hard, but it's like whatever difficulty you're on. If you do this thing, there are things within that specific objective that will test you.
I really like the achievements in StarCraft 2. Those were fun. I remember going back into those missions. I always had 3, and the third one was like, forget, I'm not in there. I don't wanna hurt myself.
StarCraft 2, the campaign has like optional stuff. that you can do.
Yeah.
Missions, yeah.
But I always play on normal. Always. Like 99% of the time. Jedi Fallen Order was like the one game I heard from people.
Nice.
They were
Yeah,
like,
I
do
played-
yourself a favor. And
I played on
Yeah,
the second
And
highest
I-
difficulty, and it
yeah,
felt perfect.
whatever was up from normal had a blast.
Lethal Mode, Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, Lethal Mode.
Oh,
The best.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is definitely a game where it was too easy on
Yep,
normal.
yep.
Yeah.
From Platinum Declan, are we all sleeping on the EA redemption arc? While it may be the case that EA just looks comparatively better as companies like Activision and Ubisoft are showing their true colors, EA has some true colors as well. Is EA low-key on their redemption arc right now? Things came to a boil with the Battlefront 2 fiasco, but ever since
Brandon,
ever
I
since
think we
things
got
to look
the
to be on the
same
up.
email at Frame Trap that I read.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have we talked about this? They fixed the game. This episode has aired.
Yes, this episode.
Yeah.
They fixed the game's issues, started slowly to admit single-player games aren't dead as they give us games like Fallen Order. Their EA originals continue to churn out bangers like It Takes Two and the upcoming Lost in Random. They seem to be letting BioWare do their thing. Well, then just sit this one out. It's for me and my co-moderator. They've just announced the much-anticipated Dead Space remake. The new Battlefield looks phenomenal, and I can say I've never played a Battlefield game before. It's hard to remember now, but Capcom over 5 years ago were in a similar boat to EA as they dragged their IP through the dirt. But look at them now, possibly the most beloved third-party developer out there with big hits every year. So are EA on their way to our good books once again? Or am I being too optimistic and giving them too much benefit of the doubt? I know FIFA will continue to be an issue, but if people are willing to buy that game every year and keep the stuff away from other franchises, it doesn't really affect us. Wanted to hear your thoughts on this, as I'm willing to give them another chance. That podcast double dip. We don't get that often. I respect it, Platinum. Nice.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like EA is doing a better job with partnerships right now, and it essentially is what it feels like to me. And so, yeah, It Takes Two is a good example of like they're sort of funding that and they're making that happen, but that's Joseph Ferris and his team, really, that's really brought that. And Respawn, they're owned by EA now, but it just feels like EA hasn't screwed with that the way that they typically do.
Yes.
And I feel like perhaps DICE has sort of been shielded somewhat from that as well. But I don't know. We'll have to see, because I just feel like with the stuff that's happened with Visceral and the stuff that's happened around Star Wars in general with the EA, like, I'm not entirely sure I'm there yet. Like, it's not been a whole lot of train wrecks otherwise. It's just
Star Wars Squadrons was a
BioWare's
surprise.
BioWare's still in
Yeah.
a weird spot. I think BioWare's, if they can put out some new really great stuff, then maybe I will start getting there.
The Legendary Edition was a nice
Yes.
Yeah.
win.
I'm very much
That was a
enjoyed that.
win.
I think when it comes to a company like EA, I definitely think you can make an argument that maybe like right now at this specific point in time, things are generally better, but it's such a massive company. And I think when you are such a massive company and you have so many projects under your banner, it's going to naturally ebb and flow.
Yep, ebbs and flows.
And so like, I don't know if it would be fair to classify it as a redemption arc in
Sure.
that sense. Yeah.
There's
There's
a lot of
definitely
Star
some-
Wars ebbing.
There's definitely some
I
math
got ebbed
here.
a lot as a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's totally good to call out when they do Crusher, or
Yeah.
when a good game comes out. But it's just like, even just like fully comprehending everything that EDA touches, like, it's not like they're just like one studio kind of working on one or two projects. Like they're just so big.
I need Battlefield to be one of the best in the franchise. I need it. 4, 5, and 1 were not as good to me as 2 and 3.
Totally.
And I need it to swing up. I need this one to be one of the best Battlefields. I have those level of expectations for it.
I hope that
So.
for you.
Yeah. I guess kind of to me, like, going back to where I was starting, it feels like EA leans outside of itself for its creativity, for like, new IP and fresh ideas and smaller titles. And so their in-house stuff, it just feels, it's like, okay, we're going back to Battlefield. We're going back to our sports games. We're going back to Need for Speed. And it doesn't, Sims, trucking along, but it doesn't feel like a lot of these like smaller, fresh ideas are coming. They're allowing their teams internally to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then when they sort of do, like they're not, it's almost like they reach for the sky like way too crazy, like Anthem, and don't really have a solid idea where it's going.
Where I would disagree with you is I think Star Wars Squadrons really kind of had that spark to it and didn't feel like it reached too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
Call then.
not really a fresh idea or a fresh IP either. So.
It's maybe not a fresh idea or fresh IP, but it is a type of game that it's not like another military shooter, right? It's not
Right.
a battle royale. It's like, it's not a space that I think is being heavily explored.
Yeah, and it's hardcore.
Yeah.
Like if you there's a lot of buttons and mechanics. Like I was playing on normal and dying sometimes and just like forgetting all the mechanics. I was like, they did not water this down. They went for it.
I can't tell if EA is excelling or just doing what I would expect of EA. Like that's I am glad, and I mentioned this previously. That I was like, wow, EA's actually not screwed up too much lately. But I just can't tell like what the image that I have of EA is just different from other companies. Kind of like Sony, where they're just like they have to hit a home run every time they go up to bat, and it's like that's just not how you play baseball. You gotta ebb and flow, like you were saying. And they're just
You're
like,
supposed to
nope,
lose
everything,
7 out of 10 times.
We're not gonna start something unless it was guaranteed.
I think the other
to
thing
make boatloads of money.
with EA is I totally agree that they've done a lot of great things. I haven't even played It Takes Two yet, and I've heard nothing but like
Fantastic.
praise heaps to top of it. And I loved
Wow.
Jedi Fallen Order. And so like I think they're doing a lot of great things, but like also EA is responsible, I think, for like some of the biggest catastrophes in gaming in the last 10 years. And it's just like
A lot of self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah,
you know,
there's just
a lot
like,
of
some
dumb-
of those things are like so big that like even just saying Anthem, it's just like, oh yeah, and like it really wasn't that long ago. Like that was a pretty recent wound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. Give them more time. They're on the up and up. Time for bets. Next week's bet. Lake launches on September 1st. That's the day we record before the next episode of this podcast. I'm aiming for it to be Damiani. You're doing Mike and Mike on Wednesday, so it might have to be after Mike and Mike. It might be Brad next week. Either Brad or Damiani, who is ever not in this room and not on this podcast and will not know these bets, is going to drive around that lake. I want to know how long it takes to circle the lake in Lake. Michael Huber.
It's a great bet. I'm saying 8 minutes and 47 seconds.
Okay. Ben.
I said 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Isla, wait, hold on. The other we have this team out of the way. Isla, you're all on the same team.
hang
What?
on. I gotta cut.
I know.
myself.
Co-moderator, 5 people. It's
Yeah.
been a while.
12 minutes.
Wow, 12 minutes.
Because I also kind of think maybe right off the bat there might be something blocking them, so maybe they can't.
It's funny that your bet is the name of a game
Of a
that
different
just
game.
came
That's what I
out.
was thinking.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I usually do multiples of 6.
All right, Bloodworth, what is it?
7 minutes and 2 seconds.
Wow, I went
Oh.
low. 2:15. I went low.
Nice. Because
So
I'm
we'll
starting
see.
to feel like this might be too long.
I don't know. Okay, there it is.
Yeah. Shit. With all the bets, I wish I had said like 5.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
This week's bet. Aliens Fireteam Elite launched on August 24th. I read the last 10 reviews on OpenCritic. How many times did I count the
right.
word?
I'm so
Mostly.
ready for this.
Whoa.
Mostly.
What a weird word.
It is a weird word. How many times
They
do you
only
think
come
you
out
would
at
pop it
night.
out in 10 reviews?
Mostly.
How many times,
It's come out at
Bloodworth?
night, mostly.
6?
5? Yeah.
5 or 6?
It's gonna be like 55.
Michael Damiani bet 3.
55.
Brad Ellis bet 3. Isla Hink bet 3.
I didn't understand the bet. It's on me.
3 bets, same bet. Huber bet 2 just underneath that. I thought 15. That was my bet.
I said Jones.
IGN had 0. Metro Game Central had 0. Stevivore, which I'm not familiar with, had 0. Oz Gamers had 0. Skewed and Reviewed had 0. Console Creatures had 0. Checkpoint Gaming had 0. Hardcore Gamer had 1. Game Watcher had 1. And Game Skinny had 3, bringing it to 5, which is above, but they're all the same bet, and they all win.
Woo!
Well, who's the closest? It's like
all said
Michael
three.
Damiani, Brad Ellis, and Isla Hink all win.
They
We
all
all
But
said
Isla's the only
three.
one here.
We
so
all
They
said
all said
three,
3,
yeah.
right?
They all said 3.
Yep. Nice.
Bringing the absolutely terrible score to Jovial Penguins 23.
It's a first for me. It's my first nude scene.
Vociferous Beavers 15.
Nom, 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 nom.
We can do it technically, but rough. Oof. We'll see. Come on, Lake. Get around that lake quickly. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. Patreon.com/easyallies is where you can go to get more engaged with Easy Allies. For $5, you can get this podcast 2 days early. And I know it's fun to talk about video game news all week, but sometimes that video game news is hot and spicy. You want that immediately. If you're thinking this is a fun podcast, I wonder if I can get it earlier. You can, 2 days earlier. The morning, the second I am done getting sleep and ready to post that sucker after cutting it, you can get that podcast on patreon.com/easyallies. And no sponsors. If you just want that on Sundays when the podcast goes up for public, you can get that for just $1 for no sponsors. You'll just get it at the same time as everybody else. We have a shout out tier. It's the last time I will be reading the shout out for what month are we in? August. This is the last time we're reading August shout outs. Shout out to this crew, tip top tier, patreon.com/easyallies. Thank you very much to them. Shout out to Elthanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb Togi Crawford, Estocal, and Nick. Shout
Shout out.
Isla, you get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You get the final word on anything you disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head, and you get to sign off with your
Wait,
trademark.
but 3 people
sign off.
won.
I know, but none of them are here.
Yeah.
Isla's the only one that's here.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
But
We
that's-
swapped the
that's
sh- we swapped the
structure of
seats around.
podcast.
Reaps the
Yeah.
rewards.
Usually it's whoever's in the seat, whether
Okay, fine.
I just think
gotta
you're,
It's
split-
not
you're
enough
bending
that
the
they got
rules.
3 points and
think
one of
you-
them's here.
I think-
Let's
I
give a
think
thing
you're
to
bending
Ben,
the- yeah,
and let's
yeah,
give a
bending the
thing
rules,
to
yeah.
Huber.
No, I don't want
because
to
they're
hear.
feeling really left out.
You know,
Ben, you can have mine.
I can have
Clearly
it,
winning
but I
the
want the
year of
acknowledgement.
bets.
Huber was there and
I'm
said
so
the
sorry.
wrong thing.
Yeah.
I'm so
oh yeah,
sorry.
Huber
Huber
would
doesn't
be
get
honest.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throwing gas on a non-situation.
Not
Between-
throwing gas.
Between Ben and
throwing
Isla,
gas.
what do we want here? Ben, what do you want?
I don't. You know, Isla can have it all. I just wanted to
Okay, you
have
just
my
want to
voice
make
be
sure.
heard.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
What the hell?
Underrepresented, the jovial penguins.
Yeah.
I'm learning. Not feeling
Yeah.
the wins, the penguin quotes. Not enough.
It was enough
Take
to
it
make
away,
John
Isla.
salty, I think.
I just want to win, damn it.
Yo, Keely's in the
What?
Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
What in the world are you doing to me? You gotta get out of this podcast. Isla, finish it up. Huber, you're
I don't know what to pitch or say. I didn't disagree with anything. What have we done lately? It's been a whirlwind of insane stuff. What should I pitch? We shot something recently that I'm excited about, but we haven't.
Yay.
I haven't cut it yet. But Mysterious Monsters is coming back. I did a synth stream. I don't know. Watch that. Good night and good game.
Oh no, I'm sorry. This is Bum Simulator that was the top 9 on Steam.
I don't know, but there's some math there.
I love the boot. It's a great looking boot. Yeah.
Which queen?
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. Caleb Togi Crawford, L. Thanis, Estocal, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Nick, Edgar M. Hernandez, Walker Hope, Will Schmuck, Alex AI, Alexander Zirianov, Alexandra Reyes, Ali Cat, Beaten Down Brian, Bradley Speeds, Daniel Portillo, Dave Red, Discarded Digit, Douglas Chomich, Freya Lawson, Hayden Hargraves, Happy Gaming, Jay Shee, Jesse Blue, Jose Gutierrez, Miguel Rivas, Nicholas Johnson, Paolo Costabel, Richard G. Flowers, Rob Bob Will, Robert Stoffel, Roy Sung, Sage Mode Q, Sigma, S-Snake24, Chum Nguyen, Valmar, Angelo D'Elia, Aurelien Grenier, Blue, Brandon White, Brian Kruger, Dale Sun, Gary James, G. Levin, James Vitt, Jan Tyson, Jesper Popmel Dufay, John Burns, Kroldemort, Lath, Luke Bennett, Mango, Marcel Markov, Mark J. Betters II, Matthew Holcomb, Matthew Pauling, Nathan Watkins, Oni Blackmage, Pete Shoemaker, Robert Crouch, Ryan Anderson, Sam Handrick, Stepan Hakobian, Stephen Thomason, The Banana Forklift Killer, Todd Yurkovic, Rack, Zachary Wingate. 44 stars, accounts payable, Adam Henry, Adam Sharonbrock, Ahab, Ahmed Al-Rashed, Alex Glass, Alex Monaco, Alexander Irving, Allison Burt, Andreas Risberg, Andri, Andy Marks, Anthony Galvin, Austin, Barry, Beastmaster64, Bjornar Harldsvik, Blake Bonzak, Breadroll Art, Brian Foster, Briscoe Davis, Brittany Fuller, Bruce McCants, Bunny Chen, C.S. Lewis, Katie Garza, Chase Caldwell, Candy Coated Thorns, Chief Uhu, Chris the Pianist, Christian Simniak, Christian Hundorf, Christoph Fatui, Christopher Santis, Clay Roberts, Cody Westley, Corey Jackson, Corey Landega, Crediar, Culinary Stud, Cyberboa, Dakota Hayes, Damnable Nook, Dan Sebring, Daniel Fuchs, Daniel Wong, DanPan16, David Wilson, David Boyarski, Delisi, Dimitri Zetas, Don Turner, DRD 7 of 14, Edison S. Prada Jr., Eric Maynard, Eric Tobias, Eric Gustafson, Espen Gotchman, Ethan Satz, Ethereal Ether, Faraz Rizvi, Fishflop, Forrest, From the Void, Gabriel Aberg, Glenn Olson, Gustav Strombohm, Hadi Ali, Haley Hill, Harrison Holt McHale, Helen Y, Hitman 47, I Sun Chor, Ian Anderson, Isaac Swanson, Jay Aldiar, Jameson Lapine, Jana, Jason I, JC3, Jeffrey Ruchtenwald, Jeremy Ferris, Jesse Fish, Jesse Wilkeson, Jethrin, Joe Frantic, Joel Short, Joey Din, John Gallagher, Jojo Denko, Jordan Phillips, Joshua Vanswall, Jose Carlos Madrigal, Julius Garcia, Junya Motomura, Justin Payne, Carl Williams, Kevin Gillet, Lars Berger, Lee Young, Leon Keys, Lindsay Wells, Linson Wu, Liam Ahern, Luis Sabara, Line Crown 19, Malcolm Moschette, Malianware, Manuel Thomas, Marcel Guru 17 Froelich, Marco Hernandez, Materia Addict, Matthias Clare, Matt Ferguson, Matt Karwoski, Matthew T. Ryan, Mazrim Tain, Megadet, Megan McDonough, Michael Bisegli, Michael Clendenan, Michael Kozachenko, Michael Pliskin, Michelle Nubb, Miguel, Mikhail Aniel, Mike Calvi, Mike Hook 1, Mikey Mizek Novak, Masuki 211, Mither Strongbeard, Mo Grant, Monica, Morpheus, Mr. Anarchy, Nefertiti Jenkins, Neil Bruce, Nycrypt, Nivi Sun, Noah Weinstein, Ulf himself, Orugachino, Pablo Rodriguez, Paul Nolson, Paul Sway, Philip Higdon, Quinn Riley, Rafael David Aquilino Baki, Raymond Lee, Reed Johnson, Richard Goodwin, Ritz 1906, Robert I, Roy Eschke, Russell Bateman, Sam Sorensen, Samuel Copeland, Sean Cornett, Sebastian Urban, Sebastian Trier, Sneaky Gato, Spencer Stevens, Splontot, Stefan Hines, Strikeout NZ, Super 3D Cow, T-Beaks 15, Tense George, The Classiest Hobo, Tim Strothman, Thomas Blaze Fauchereau, Tim Mann, Tim O'Keefe, TJ Sullivan, Toasty Soul, Tom Masterman, Travis Ing, Travis Miosi, Trevor Thomas, Tristan Howard, Trizac, Tuttle, Tyler Wallace, V8 Dave, V. Curare, Volker Bach, Wavy Chula, Willow Pingree, Wobess, Wouter DeHaze, ZK.